Back up here at the TT Grandstand, we are just under 22 minutes away from going racing at TT 2025. The RST by D30 Superbike TT over 4 laps, scheduled to get away at noon. So let's have a look at the road position order with Mike Booth here. First away will be John McGuinness on the Honda. He's only down in 15th place in qualifying. Then Davo Johnson will follow him second away on the Platinum Club Kawasaki. Then Dean Harrison, the fastest man in qualifying and the first of our real contenders, we think, today on the Honda. He will go away third. There will then be a gap where Jamie Coward would have been at fourth on the road. James Hillier on the Muck-Off Racing Honda will go fifth. James is a long way down on the qualifying list compared to what we'd normally see, although James is always a rider who says qualifying's qualifying. Racing is what matters to him. Then we've got Michael Dunlop on the Rocket BMW. He will go away sixth. Well, fifth of the riders off the line in position 6 on the start order, but with no Jamie Coward, obviously, he moves up to fifth. He'll be followed by Josh Brooks on the Jackson Racing, powered by Prosper 2 Honda. Davey Todd, then, last year's senior TT winner on the Monster Energy BMW Motorrad, will go away at position 8. Then Mike Brown, who takes over that Jamie Coward ride on the KTS Racing BMW, will go at 10. Obviously nobody at 10 with Peter Hickman out. So then we go into Connor Cummins on the Burroughs Engineering RK Racing BMW. Then Ian Hutchinson on the MLAV Racing BMW. And behind that, Dominic Herbertson on the HRRC. Let's have a word with Mike Booth as to how that all translates into who are the real quick men that we're looking at and who they're going to have to catch, move past and try and clear.
Well, the first name that springs to mind is Dean Harrison, who went fastest in practice week. He's going to catch, we expect him to catch on the road, John McGuinness and David Johnson. Now, Dean, I think, is a rider who will he'll like a target. You know, he'll see them in front. He'll use them as a bit of a target. He'll catch him. John McGuinness, obviously his teammate. It'll be interesting to see where he catches John. John struggled a little bit in practice week, so we do expect Dean to catch him maybe within the first lap or two, and he can use John as a bit of a, if he catches him in the right place, use him as a bit of a slipstream just to get that extra few miles an hour and probably pass him on one of the straights.
And being his teammate, you would imagine they will understand he will just let him straight past, because Dean is the one who they're really looking at to try and get a podium out of this race.
You'd expect so. I talked to John the other day and he said he was, you know, if he can see Dean on the podium, he'd be one of the happiest men on the Isle of Man TT course, particularly if he stood next to him on the podium. So, and then of course a few places further back, Michael Dunlop. We haven't seen him, as mentioned, go quite as fast as we might have expected him to do so far, but I think there's probably something left in the bag, and I think he'll be looking to catch as many of them riders in front of him.
And if he can clear James Hillier, he then gets into the gap where Jamie Coward would have been. So if he can clear James Hillier quite early, he suddenly gets free road, whereas Dean potentially is going to be tied up with Davo Johnson and John McGuinness. Michael just needs to clear one rider and he gets himself into that gap.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A couple of names further down the list, I'm looking at Connor Cummins. I think Connor is one of the guys that's, if he's you know, if he's got out the right side of bed, if everything's right with the bike, I think he can be knocking on the door of a podium. So he'll have to, there's a few names in front of him, Mike Brown, Davey Todd, Josh Brooks. He's probably going to catch them, you know, particularly Josh Brooks, who we've seen struggle a little bit in practice week. So if he can catch them on the road and use them as a bit of a slingshot to, you know, catch the riders in front, I think, yeah, we could see him knocking on the door of a podium.
This could work well for Connor here. 4 fastest on qualifying if we take Peter Hickman out of the equation. And Connor, therefore, has the gap where Peter Hickman would have been on the start list. So he has got clear road in front of him straight away from the start line here on Glen Crutchy Road. He's not got any concerns about moving past anybody ahead of him, Mike Brown, and he probably is unlikely to catch Davey Todd ahead of that as well. Davey Todd, of the main contenders, is possibly the person who's got the most work to do this afternoon, because he's got Josh Brooks just ahead of him on the Jackson Honda. Then he would be coming up towards Michael Dunlop. He'll know he's right on race-winning pace if he manages to catch Michael Dunlop on the road.
Yeah, you're right. Davey's actually in a really good position on the road, I think, with such top contenders in front of him. Like you say, if he can see Michael Dunlop and if he manages to catch Michael Dunlop, he'll be, yeah, like you say, he knows he's on for a good result. And yeah, I think we all expect to see Davey on the podium if he has a good day.
It's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out. We are building up to a noon start, a noon shootout for the opening race of TT 2025, the RST by D30 Superbike TT. Let's get back down to where the atmosphere now will be absolutely building. We are in full countdown mode, Chris and Beth.
Yeah, absolutely. 17 minutes ago before the flag drops for the first race of TT 2025. Just had a message in from one of the pit crews here. Could we please say a big hello to Wayne Axon, of course, the Siderman, who's currently, how should we say, a little bit injured, as everybody knows. For those who follow him, Siderman Wayne, if you are listening, hope you're all well. Borodar to you, so hope you're well. And then we will see you back on around at some point. Hopefully you're listening and watching back home there, we're led to believe. Let's hear from Jamie Kringle, who's with Beth Espy.
Yeah, we're just outside the Bathams AJN Racing tent. Jamie, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, good. Pretty relaxed, to be honest. Just want to get away, do another 4 laps, just treat it as another practice. Hopefully just improve where we are. We've changed the bike a little bit, gone a bit stiffer with the rear, put a different, heavier spring in, so try that and just see how we get on.
What's it been like for you working with this team this week?
Brilliant, guys have been good. We've been changing the bike every session basically. Everyone's worked. We made a little bit of a change yesterday, which I don't think went in my favour a little bit, so we've sort of gone back to where we were again before that, but we've put a stiffer spring in the rear to try.
And that must be great, actually, feeling that you're being heard, your team's listening to what you're saying. Yeah,
it's brilliant. Everyone sits down, we all put our ideas together, make a plan, and then the boys just sort the bike out. It's been good.
And we're well used to these delays on the Isle of Man, but they're not easy to take, are they?
No, exactly. Everyone's had a challenge a week. We've all run out of time. We've getting the bike set up everyone wants, but we're all in the same boat, and it is what it is.
Well, hope it goes well for you today.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Just here with the Jackson Racing team boss. Jacko, how are you?
Yeah, not so bad, Chris.
Manx Grand Prix. Let's go back all those days when we both, well, no, I didn't have hair. You had, no, we never had hair, did we?
Well, I had a bit. I'm not sure about you, but yeah, there were good days with them.
On that big Kawasaki when you won the senior Manx Sudesi and that, how fantastic memories are in your mind about that?
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get the win, but we had the lap record for 10 years and stuff, didn't we? And yeah, we had the good days, definitely.
What about Jackson Racing now and 2025? You've obviously got Josh, you've got obviously Paul Jordan, the win at the Northwest. What a start.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The team's going from strength to strength. Josh is good, Paul's good. We've got a good bunch of lads around us, some good sponsors in Prosper. Yeah, hopefully, you know, it's a start of things to come, really.
So Al, what about the work you guys have to put in the background to get all this together? How difficult is it?
To be fair, it's non-stop. Me and Andy build the bikes back home and stuff, and then the boys come and help us at meetings and weekends. Yeah, it's a massive team effort. You know, my missus back home and the kids, everybody puts 100% in.
What about the bikes from Honda as well? Do you get any help from them at all, or is it you're on your own?
Yeah, no, we're kind of, you know, we do it ourselves. So yeah, it's all kind of self-prepared, and we source the parts ourselves. Yeah, you know, we're keen to go racing, so that's what you do, isn't it?
Well, enjoy the day. I know you love it, Studong Gucci Road, looking down there and thinking back to those days.
Cheers, Chris. Appreciate that.
Cheers, Jacko. Nicest speech as well. Cheers. There we go. So riders are now being brought forward. We've just seen Connor Cummins come up onto the line. Beth have also just seen who else has come up. Oh, all the other bikes come up. Mikey Evans' machine is now being rolled up here. And there is Paul Jordan, who, of course, is riding for the Jackson Racing team. And we're just going to move on down, if we can, before he gets ready to go in this race. Didn't get a finish in this one last year, did Connor? He'll be looking for better in this. He's off at number 11, of course, lapping at 131.027. We'll just squeeze in round the back if we can. Connor, good morning. That's it, good morning.
Yeah, it's been a few little delays, but Gary and the team have done a mega job on getting us ready to go now. So, yeah, just focusing on getting my Burrows, RK Racing, BM around as fast as we possibly can.
You said to me in the week, you're not really a practice qualifier man, you're more of a race man. Another couple of miles now to find, which I know you'll find early doors. Any changes made before the start of this 4-lapper?
Yeah, we've opted for a different construction rear tyre. We've been chasing our tails a little bit. I've been fighting the bike quite a lot, getting a bit of a hump actually, but I haven't had that for years. So we've gone to this different tyre in the hope that it's going to give us more support from the back, and I can just focus on going forward. So, you know, we can't argue with the facts here. We've only done 2 laps on this so far, so to be where we are, I'm quite content, and if the changes work, then we've got a great foundation to go faster on, I think.
You changed the tyre. When will you know if that's right? What corners was it affecting you on?
It's all the fast stuff, really. So the one through Snugborough there, that's a big tester. The whole place is a tester, right enough, but I'll know fairly handily.
Connor, thanks for your time. Cheers.
I'm now just walking up to the start line with Sean Anderson, and I tell you what, Sean, we saw yesterday that you can run as well as ride a bike, because you sprinted to get on that twin to get out, and they let you go out even though you were just slightly behind the time.
Yeah, I really have to thank the organisers. I think there was a tiny bit of wiggle room, so they did me a massive solid just to get another lap on the twin. Yeah, wee bit of a technical issue with the Super Sport bike, a little bit of a run-in with the local constabulary on the way back into Douglas. He was more than generous, I would say, so thank you for what he did. And just got back here with, I think, about 10 seconds on the clock, and the guys were I needed to give them the hurry up to get me to the gate. So it's been sort of I don't really do a lot of running because motorcycle injuries means bad knees. So far I've run the length of the return road and then the length of the paddock. So I'll try and not do any more running for the next bit of the fortnight.
Who knew you could move so fast in leathers, eh? What's the plan today? Obviously slightly different now, we know it's only 4 laps.
Yeah, I mean, I would always say that my preference was a 6-lapper. I have that sustainability, shall we say, when you look at me. And it's a bit more of a sprint race, so get out of the traps and go like hell. I mean, obviously the organisers are doing what they can with we have the right conditions today. The wind's really dropped considering what we've ridden in most of the week. Sun's out, but unfortunately the traffic hasn't really wanted to play ball with us this morning. So yeah, try and push. It's always a bit of a catch-22 around here. Like, try and come out of the boxes strong, but not tie yourself up in knots. Try and find your rhythm as quickly as you can and drop into what sort of feels normal, and the pace will come. So yeah, I mean, first race day anyway, anxiety levels are high. I'll be settled when I click it into gear and let the clutch out.
And just remember your pit stop and to slow down in pit lane, eh?
Yeah, that's also something that was a long talking point over the winter. So I'm hoping that we've taken care of that.
Brilliant. Good luck today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just seen John McGuinness do that little walk up the centre of Glencrutchy Road that he kind of does, and I'm just going to sneak in round the back. Don't want to get away. Jamie Robinson, he's doing a job there. Jamie Robinson. Hey, there's Jamie Robinson there. Look, there's Jamie Robinson. He used to be a good rider, didn't he?
Little 250 sparring partner. Yeah, did him in the 99 championship. Just.
John, you just made the walk down the middle of Glencrutchy Road again. Thoughts?
Yeah, many times before. It's my 112th start. Conditions look good. Yeah, we've just had to be patient. Typical something. What's this TT going to give us next? But it's thrown everything at us now, and hopefully we'll be have a great race week. But yeah, struggled a bit in practice, but I'm just going to go out and enjoy it. I put myself under loads of pressure all the time. At the end of the day, I can only do what I do, and then if I hit all my apexes and good strong pit stop, and we are where we are at the end of the race, and that's what Honda have said to me, just go and enjoy it. So it's nice to not have that pressure, and I can't pull rabbits out of the hats anymore. I just got to go and bring this big girl home safely and enjoy it.
What's the stability like now?
We've gone back to where we were. With race bikes, you're always messing about, and sometimes it's not for the better. We've been up, down, and all over the place with it. But I'm back to where we were, where we finished the senior TT last year. It's the same bike, and we were going okay last year. So if I can, get anywhere near that in this race, that'd be brilliant.
John, enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm just here now with the other of our newcomers, Mitch Rees. How's your week been then?
Yeah, it's been quite mixed. We've had some unusual conditions. Wet, dry, windy, bit of everything really, to be fair. Riding at night, riding in the rain. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, that one, but hey, I've enjoyed it, and we got a few decent laps in, so.
I bet people told you about what to expect in the TT, but until you're actually here and see it for yourself, it's a different beast.
Yeah, I knew what to expect, but then when John McGuinness is pretty much saying every night that he hasn't ridden conditions this bad, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess this is maybe some of the better conditions. I mean, we got some oil spill now, but yeah, we'll go out and do some more laps and have some fun.
And in terms of your plan today, are you going out there trying to break any records, or is it just about getting round?
No, just literally go out and ride and learn and just have a good time.
Well, I hope you do that.
Awesome, thank you.
Let's speak to the quickest man in Superbike qualifying. Proud Yorkshireman here right in front of us, and it's Dean Harrison. now a Laxey resident. Now, question is, I've always wanted to ask you this week. If you get to the top step, English or Manx national anthem?
I'll have to do the English one because you never forget your roots, do you?
Correct, mate. Dino, best of luck for today. Talk us through your practice week.
No, practice week's not gone too bad. The weather's been a bit iffy, obviously, for everyone's in the same boat. Tried a few different things to try and make the bike easier for me to ride and try to make it go fast easier. It's not been too bad. I don't know, really.
Looking forward to this today. Never seen you so pensive on the start. It's been a long week, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. What it is, all the delays don't help with this, so get ready to go now. Once I set off, I'll be sound as a pound.
Dean, good luck. Good luck, bud. Thank you. So there we are. James Hillier has just arrived as well on the 5 machine. The Michael Dunlop crew are all moved around. Don't think Michael's here as of yet. Okay, that's the board that's just gone up to say 7 minutes. James Hillier gives Dean a big fist pump, a handshake to him as well. So James will be putting the lid on. They'll start to clear people out of here. And it always amazes me how regimented these guys are. Beth, you're still up here as well. How regimented when on the start these guys are. They've all got the jobs. They all know what they're doing. And they all go in. Dean's now just put the showy lid on top of his lid, takes a big gulp of water, and that's going to be important because it's not hot out here. It's just that nice little bit of temperature. We're going to go back to Boydie and the boys in about 3 minutes before the start, but I want to give you the flavour of what the pit board says here, the board that they have to read. And it'll say lack of adhesion flags will be shown for the lap 1, for only lap 1 between Selborne Drive and Quarterbridge. So that is the second jump. I beg your pardon, you go through top of Agos, then you go over the top of the other jump, and then you drop down towards Quarterbridge and between the Mountain Box and Casey's, damp patches at the Braddon Oak, Kebble to Kates, Hilby the Nook, and Governor's Dip. Starting at 15 on the SMT Honda is Rob Hodson. He's with Beth.
It's just a very quick word here, Rob. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. We're ready to go now. If I'd stop dropping me earplugs.
I mean, that's quite important that you need that. It's a good job you got someone to pick them up for you. What's the plan today now? You know it's a 4-lap and not 6.
So pretty similar to the 6, to be honest. We're just going to have to go from the word go and see how it goes. We was happy enough with practice yesterday on a used rear tyre, so yeah, we'll just get our head down from the start and see how it goes. We've made a few changes for this race, nothing major. Just yesterday was the first flying lap I've done on the SMT Superbike, so. Yeah, we've just learned a few things, and you know, with the data logging and stuff, so we're just gonna chip away and see how we go.
Hope it goes super well for you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, 5 minutes to go before the start. We've just seen the boards go up. Let's grab a quick word if you can before he puts his lid on with Mike Brown. Speak to her first. Don't speak to me. Speak to her first. You don't get it. You've got a beard. I don't like that. No, maybe not. Mike Brown, obviously drafted into the team. We send our best wishes to Jamie Coward, of course. You going well?
Yeah, going well. Just a steady practice week, to be honest, and made a few changes yesterday, and we were happier again. So, no, hoping for a good, solid result.
Does it affect you more because you're similar sort of height and build to me, and you think of someone like Connor trying to get out of that wind? Does it help you? Or is it worse for you because you're smaller and there's not as much weight on the machine?
Yeah, that's what the whole team are even struggling with this week. Is there's such a light rider and trying to get the back of the bike planted and keep it planted on the bumps. It's just a bit trickier to get a bike set up for a lighter rider to keep her planted. But no, look, I'm fit enough to hold on, and I'm happy to hold on. And even in the wind yesterday, once you stay behind the bubble, it didn't affect me. And the screens are big in the front of these, so as much as people say it's hard, it's not as bad as they think with the big bubble to hold on.
Mike, good luck, and I'll let you get back to family.
Thank you.
Cheers, bud. Thank you. Let's hear from Davey Todd with Beth.
Yeah, Davey, it's been a long week, hasn't it? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it has been a crazy one for sure, with all the weather and everything we've had, and finally got some good weather today, and we got oil down everywhere. So, nah, it is what it is. It's part of the TT, isn't it? The course is what's the challenging part. So, I'm ready for the race. I'm looking forward to it.
There's a lot of expectation, clearly, because you've shown what you can do. How do you deal with that?
I just the expectation from me is on myself. You know, it's me that wants to win, and I want to do well, and I'm excited for it, so yeah, I'm just going to go out there and do my best.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, one thing we need to think about as we get down to the 3-minute thing as well, Mike and Chris will bring you in up in the tower here, that the fact that the Peter Hickman team have actually lent Michael Dunlop's team some stuff for the rear of their machine. And Mike, you know all the nuances of this thing. What have they lent them? Just explain to the listeners out there, because it's something to help them in their pit stop, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what the guys have lent them, but I know that you know, the TT paddock is a friendly place 9 times out, most of the time. And if Pete's not going to use that equipment, and the Dunlop team can make use of it, I'm sure. Yeah, they'll gladly let him borrow it. It's Pete Hickman isn't now a competitor in this race, so it's Dunlop isn't. You know, there's kind of no reason why they wouldn't. So it's great to see that.
Yeah, I think it's to do with the quick release change things. You know, when you go to the pit stop, you obviously got to have the best gear to do it. Maybe they weren't happy with their setup, so the old FHO team, the 810 team, they've got the gear there already. Obviously, last year's bike, etc., etc. So that is really handy for them to have, because pit stops, as we both know, Mike, in this place, and Chris and Beth and everybody involved in this team, we know how important these 20-30 seconds that they come into the pit stop. Now, remind you, if you don't know how the pit stop work here, what they do is they have to come into pit lane. The old days, you used to have to stop right at the end of the grandstand by where the scrutineers hooded. There used to be a box there, the stop box he called it, and then they stopped, and then they'd have to trundle down pit lane. But now they have to drop their speed to 60 kilometres an hour. It can't be 60.111, it can't be 60.0111. If it does, they will get a time penalty, and as that goes up, it can actually lead to them being excluded from the race. So even in the pit stops, that can be so important. Even people like John McGuinness in the pit stop have made errors before where he's been over that 60 kilometres an hour. Looking forward to this one. It's a Superbike TT race in the sunshine on the Isle of Man, and to take them away, Mike Booth and Chris Boyd.
Thank you very much, Chris Kinley. The build-up is almost done. We are just about to get ready to go racing at TT 2025. We see John McGuinness paddling the Honda to the start line where Mark Pendlebury waits for him. Our starter today is Mostyn Thomas, Global Brand Director of D30, part of the sponsors of the race with RST. It's 4 laps, 150.92 miles, one crucial pit stop at the end of lap 2, and after an hour and a quarter of delays this morning, we are now, 35 just over seconds away from starting racing. Mike Booth, who have you got? Who are you picking?
I've got to say Dean Harrison. He was really impressive all the way through practice week. So, yeah, I think we're going to be hearing the national anthem of the UK for Dean Harrison.
Well, let's see. That would be a real step up for Dean. He's been right there for the last couple of years, podiums galore. We want to see him back on the top step. So John McGuinness then, we see Mark Pendlebury, the starter line controller, just stood right in front of him. We see all the officials down there. There's a blaze of people on Glencrutchy Road this morning. We can see Davo Johnson, Dean Harrison coming through onto the start line as well. And we've got the revs rise. We're away racing at TT 2025. John McGuinness heads off to Bray Hill, starts his 25th TT campaign. Next away, Davo Johnson on the Kawasaki. Davo made his TT debut in 2010. Then next, fastest in qualifying, Dean Harrison on the Honda, teammate to John McGuinness. Nobody away at 4 where Jamie Coward would have been, so next away is James Hillier on the Muck-Off Racing Honda. Great to have James on the line, as there were doubts earlier in the season, but Alan Gardner's come through with the bike, and James will get away now. Next up, Michael Dunlop, 87 starts, 29 wins, unbelievable 1-in-3 record. Usual line out to the right-hand side, but the Rocket BMW is well away. Off he goes. Josh Brooks is away next on the Jackson Racing, powered by Prosper 2 Honda. And then next away will be Mike Brown. Oh, Davey Todd next away on the BMW Monster Energy BMW. He's away next. Then Mike Brown on the KTS Racing BMW. Then we'll have a gap at 10 where Peter Hickman would have been, but next lining up is Connor Cummins, about to make his race debut at the TT, certainly for the Burrows Engineering by RK Racing Team on the BMW, and 5th fastest in qualifying. He's away, and then it's Ian Hutchinson with the move over to the MLAV Racing BMW team for this year. It's his 17th TT campaign for Ian Hutchinson. Dominic Herbertson also had to put his package together after things fell through earlier in the year. He's about to get underway on the Adam Hewitt Honda. Then we'll have a gap at 14 where Craig Neve would have been before Rob Hodson is next to go. He made his course debut in 2012, his TT debut in 2016. He'll get underway on the SMT Racing Honda. Next up, the North Links Components Honda of James Hind. He gets himself underway. It's his 4th TT that he's moving into now. Next up, 7th in qualifying, Sean Anderson on the Team Classic Suzuki, the Banbridge rider. He gets underway. Following him will be Philip Crowe for Market Raisin. Philip underway 19th in qualifying, so lower than we would expect to see him, but let's see what he can do in the race. Someone who's excelled in qualifying, 6th fastest, Nathan Harrison from Onken on the Isle of Man on the H&H Motorcycles Honda. He's away next. Then Paul Jordan rolls up to the line on the Jackson Racing powered by Prosper 2 Honda for Paul. He's away. He's a podium man, of course, at the TT from 2023. Another local rider from Santon, Mikey Evans on the Dapperbet Racing Honda. He goes next. And then Mikko Sweeney from Skerries. He will be away at position 22 on the start order, as these riders are obviously already heading well out towards Ballacrane on the opening sector. Next up, Brian McCormack will go on the Roadhouse Macau BMW. And then moving well up the start order, impressing in qualifying, Erno Costamo from Finland on the RVS Motorsport BMW. His 3rd TT now for Erno. So he gets away. And then another of the local riders, Marcus Simpson from Douglas on the WH Racing powered by Dino Bike Honda. He gets away. His 2nd TT for Marcus Simpson. Then our visitor from South Africa, Alan Venter, who's been impressing through the Northwest 200 and coming into the TT. He gets away next on the BMW. And then we come to Mitch Rees, our fastest newcomer on the Malenko by Paget's Motorcycle Honda. He gets himself away. He was 25th in qualifying. We're already looking, though, Mike, at riders through Glen Helen.
We are, yeah, and you can see these guys are really trying, particularly when you've got a 4-lap race rather than a 3-lap race. You've got to get, pull up in right at the start. And gone are the days where you could start a TT race a little bit steady and build your speed. You need to go fast from lap 1, mile 1. That's exactly what Dean Harrison's doing, because we've seen on the road he's very nearly caught Dave O'Johnson, and there's a couple of riders going through Glen Helen now, and I didn't quite catch the numbers, but they're really screwing the nut. You can see them sliding around the corners as we look at James Hillier, and just behind him is Michael Dunlop, and it looks like he's definitely caught at least 4 or 5 seconds on him, so there's the riders are already starting to concertina up a little bit.
Absolutely. Let's start to put them into leaderboard order while we wait for people like Davey Todd and Connor Cummins to come through. At the moment, Dean Harrison shows us leading the way by just 4/100ths of a second from, in fact, Davey Todd it is. Davey Todd now leads, and he's caught and overhauled Josh Brooks already as they go up through Sarahs. So Davey Todd already cleared Josh Brooks on the way up through Sarahs. Davey Todd leads on the BMW by 4/100ths of a second from Dean Harrison on the Honda. It's then 2.8 seconds further back to Michael Dunlop, who's holding on to 3rd. We wait Connor Cummins to arrive. At the moment, Mike Brown shows in 4th. James Hillier 5th. Dave O'Johnson, then Josh Brooks and John McGuinness. We will await Cummins, Hutchinson, Herbertson and Rob Hodson, get a full idea, and all the way down to Sean Anderson, obviously, and Nathan Harrison, who have impressed in practice. We need to get all these times in before we get a real idea of where this leaderboard is. I was expecting a 4:16 type time out to Glen Helen. Davey Todd's done a 4:14.3, so way quicker than my projections. This is real pace we're seeing on lap 1 of this RST by D30 Superbike TT, Mike.
You're not wrong, and like I said, they've gone are the days of starting a TT race slowly. They're just absolutely screwing the nut, as we see. I think that was James Hillier going through the bottom of Bagaro, followed by Michael Dunlop. They're really giving it everything they've got. This section here through Glen Helen, through Kirk Michael, it's one of the scariest sections of the TT course, and they're just tucked in under the bubble, flat out, and you can see all the people that lined the TT course. It's great to see nice conditions today, and plenty of people watching out there in the hedges.
Connor Cummins drops in all the way down in 12th at Glen Helen, so not what we were expecting for Connor. Let's see how his race goes from here, and he's getting shuffled down further and further. We're waiting on Nathan Harrison in particular to arrive there, just to see Sean Anderson comes in 14th below Connor Cummins. So some of the guys that were performing in qualifying week, it's not quite translating, but that could be down to traffic.
Yeah, it could, because on these first laps, we talked before about certain people catching others. It's if you're going to catch someone who's a little bit slower than you, it can easily take 2 or 3 corners to get past them. And when the race is as competitive it is, with the times as close as they are, if you lose a few seconds getting caught behind someone, it really does make a difference on your lap time.
Yep, the leading rider is hitting Balaf now. Brian McCormick, though, is not. He is out at Quarterbridge on the opening lap on the Roadhouse Macau BMW. So Brian McCormick, a retirement. Quarterbridge, lap 1. Dean Harrison, Dave O'Johnson and John McGuinness are through Balaf. We obviously wait for Davey Todd, our race leader, to arrive. So too Michael Dunlop. Nathan Harrison slots into 5th or 6th place. 6th, I think it is, at Glen Helen on the opening lap. So we'll wait for him to get to Balaf as well. Obviously, he's running well back through the order. Michael Dunlop has caught James Hillier on the road into Balaf. He's right behind him over the jump at Balaf on the Rocket BMW against James Hillier on the Muck-Off Racing Honda. So Dunlop will want to clear Hillier as fast as possible.
I did just see Hillier with his foot off the peg there. I don't know if that was he was signalling to Dunlop to pass him on the left-hand side, or he was having a problem coming into Balaf Bridge, but that's not something that we want to see on the first lap.
Big jump for Todd over Balaf, who does extend the lead out to over 2 seconds already. 2 seconds up on Dean Harrison. Michael Dunlop is then 2.8 seconds down on Harrison. Then Mike Brown slots into 4th at the moment. We'll wait Nathan Harrison to arrive. 9.4 seconds down on Dunlop. Then Dave O'Johnson on the Kawasaki is holding on to 5th of those through Balaf at the moment. Then James Hillier, Josh Brooks and John McGuinness. So it's Todd who's making the early way in this Superbike TT.
Yeah, he's really giving it the berries, isn't he? Today is Davey Todd, and always one of the favourites leading up to this TT event. He did some impressive riding at the Northwest 200 and some very impressive riding on the short circuits at home. So he's definitely one of the guys that you'd expect to see on the podium.
Loris McCann, the last man away from the grandstand. So all starters now away from us here on the TT grandstand. They're all into their first race of TT 2025.
We've just seen Dom Herbertson pop into 4th place on Balaf Bridge. That's a really good showing from Dom.
Absolutely. We wait Nathan Harrison as well. That really is impressive from Dom. After all the trials of getting the team together after losing the ride potentially at the start of the year and managing to get all the funding in place, really impressive. We're just seeing Rob Hodson arrive at Balaf, so Nathan Harrison will be another 20-30 seconds or so before he gets there.
Yeah, it does take a few sectors, or at least a lap or so, to really figure out exactly what's going to happen in the TT race. The times and numbers, with everyone setting off staggered as they are, it's quite it takes a lap to get your head round. But we're just looking at the times now, when it looks like James Hillier in the Sulby Speed Traps 3rd fastest. The times have just disappeared before I got a chance to see them, but I'm sure they'll be very fast. John McGuinness catching, Dean Harrison's caught and overtaken John McGuinness on the road now as they go into Ramsey. It'll be you'd expect John to try his very best to stay in Dean's wheel tracks, because Dean has been riding that Fireblade quite a bit quicker than John all through practice week. Whether or not John's got the pace just to keep on Dean's wheel tracks is yet to be seen. It looks though like Dean is pulling away as they go into Ramsey hairpin, nice and tidy. The bikes aren't out of shape, which is what you would expect to see from John. I don't know about Dean. Dean's a little bit looser. Following them closely is Dave O'Johnson, but they've overtaken him and looks like they're going to leave him on the road.
Absolutely. Nathan Harrison holding 4th place at Balaf on the opening lap of this RST by D30 Superbike TT. Nathan is absolutely charging here. He's coming from all the way back in start position 19. He's up to 4th on the leaderboard. Michael Dunlop arrives into Ramsey. It's Davey Todd still leading at Ramsey. He's pushing it out every single sector as we see him arrive into the hairpin, Mike.
And he's using all of the track, isn't it? We just saw him going up Stella Maris there on the white line on the outside, inside, then on the white line on the outside as well. Nice and tidy through Ramsey hairpin though. The next section as he goes up to the gooseneck and the up to the start of the mountain course, that's where he'll really be able to stretch the legs of that BMW. And the BMWs, we know, are very, very fast bikes on the Alaman TT course.
So fast, I've got him on a 1:34.5 pace to Ramsey. Absolutely flying fast, way faster than anything we've seen so far.
Yeah, exactly. So as we look at Mike Brown, I think that was going a little bit wide into the Ramsey hairpin. Yeah, the pace has just gone taken it up a step. And don't forget, that's from a standing start as well. So they're really, really impressive lap times. What will we see on the next lap, and what will we see on the fourth lap of this race when the fuel loads light and they get to go straight down Glen Country Road for a really fast lap? If they're doing 134 mile an hour pace already, it looks like things are only going to get faster.
Let's see what happens with the race position and whether they need to push it on that fourth lap. Of course, it may well be that the race position dictates that they don't need to, but let's see what happens. Into Ramsey then. It is Davy Todd leading on the BMW by 5.8 seconds from Dean Harrison on the Honda. Michael Dunlop is then just 1 second now down on Harrison in second. Of course, we know Harrison caught and passed his teammate John McGuinness to lead on the road, so that may just have cost him a second or two and allowed Dunlop to close in. Dominic Herbertson shows fourth at the moment. We know we're waiting on Nathan Harrison to arrive into Ramsey. Herbertson shows us 12 seconds down on Michael Dunlop. Then Mike Brown is only a tenth of a second down on Herbertson. James Hillier shows sixth at the moment, 1.4 seconds down on Brown. Then Dave O'Johnson, James Hind and Ian Hutchinson, but we're waiting on Nathan in particular to arrive to see where he slots in at Ramsey as they go on to the climb of the mountain.
We're just seeing some replays of Davy Todd going over Balaf Bridge, and I think he thinks he's on a motocross bike. He's getting some serious really, really impressive to see. The front riders are up on the mountain section now, where the road opens up, the scenery opens up, and they can really stretch the legs of the bikes. This was my favourite part of the TT course. It's a section where you can start to have a bit of a rest. Really, there's some big long straights. Dean Harrison at the bungalow, he'll ride up Halewood's Rise now towards Brandywell. You can see he's getting his arms and knees and head tucked right in, getting the very, very as much out of the wind as he possibly can to get as much speed as he possibly can, because he has got a little bit of work to do. Davy Todd's gone a little bit quicker than him so far, and that wasn't what he was hoping for on this race.
No, absolutely. We thought Harrison was going to be the man as we see Dunlop arrive into the bungalow as well. We'll try to shuffle these into order. Nathan Harrison does continue to hold fourth at Ramsey. He's onto the climb of the mountain. Nathan, come on the H&H Honda. What a performance this is so far. Michael Dunlop has overhauled Dean Harrison. Dunlop has overhauled Dean Harrison for second place. Todd now leads by 7.7 seconds from Dunlop. Then it's literally 2/100ths of a second between Dunlop and Harrison. James Hillier, Dave O'Johnson and John McGuinness are the other riders through the bungalow at the moment, but Dunlop has got that place.
He has, and how impressive is that fourth position from Nathan Harrison? Bear in mind, he started 19th on the start, so he's had a lot of people to catch, a lot of people to overtake, and each one of them overtakes is always going to cost you a little bit of time. It's nice to have someone in the distance. It does drag you on a bit, but he's maybe been very lucky with his overtaking places, because that is a very impressive position so far.
Let's see if he can continue that pace as he gets to the bungalow. He's way back from the bungalow at the moment. He'll be somewhere maybe on the mountain mile, perhaps, as we wait through. As we get news of another retirement, David Rigby, number 59, he has stopped out at Ballacrane. So David Rigby, another of the local riders, stopped out at Ballacrane as Connor Cummins comes through the bungalow looking very neat and tidy. Despite his height, he always looks neat and tidy on a bike.
You're right, he does, and he's able just to get himself tucked under the bubble as well, isn't he? He's a 6 foot plus guy, and he actually makes a superbike look quite small. He sits on that bike. I actually saw him climb on the bike yesterday, and he doesn't swing his leg over the bike the same way that a normal height person did. He almost kind of like walked onto the bike from behind. So to see a guy with that stature muscling a bike about the TT course is it's quite impressive, isn't it?
Absolutely. Harrison then is at Cronknamona. Let's see what his pace might be down to Cronknamona. It's Davy Todd, obviously the race leader, that we're really waiting on to see if we can get an indication. It was this 134 type pace that we were looking at, maybe high 134 now for Davy Todd. So they are fair cracking on this opening lap. It's Rob Hodson is next that we see up over Halewood Rise. He's come through the bungalow. We're still waiting, obviously, on Nathan to arrive at the bungalow. Dominic Herbertson is through. He slots into 5th place, but we wait for Nathan, who might just shuffle him down one more place.
The guys at the front shouldn't be far off the start-finish. Now it looks like, I can't see who it is, but it looks like someone's at Signpost Corner, so we'd expect to start hearing the bikes here at the grandstand anytime soon.
We're waiting for them to come down Glen Country Road at the end of this opening lap. They'll be flying straight through here at about 185 miles per hour. There goes Harrison. 133.051 for Harrison on his opening lap. 17 minutes 00.873. Next through, McGuinness and Davo Johnson. Davo Johnson 130.307. And John McGuinness 129.105. Next through goes Michael Dunlop, holding on to that second place. He's extended it to 1.4 seconds over Dean Harrison here at the grandstand, end of lap 1. So Dunlop 1.4 seconds, but waiting obviously on Davey Todd, who slowed. That's him going through now. There's Todd, and he leads now by 7.8 seconds at the end of the opening lap. 134.275 it was for Todd. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's absolutely a ballistic pace, isn't it? From a standing start, 134 miles an hour. We haven't seen a lap as fast as that all week. And to be able to pull that out the bag on race day, that's when it really counts, is something special. Dean Harrison with his 133 mile an hour lap. That's roughly where we was the speed that we was expecting him to be after practice week. And Mr. Dunlop, we weren't. There was a few sort of rumours going around that he might have been sandbagging because it took him a little bit of time to get right up to speed. But he's second place now, so he's obviously found something somewhere.
It may well just be that he needs this race to just get that bike fully sorted, and then we'll get it absolutely flying by later in the week for the senior TT. So, in terms of the race position then, Davey Todd leads at the end of lap 1 of the RST Superbike by D30 race. 7.891 seconds ahead of Michael Dunlop. Then Dean Harrison is 1.4 seconds down on Dunlop. We now have to wait for Nathan Harrison to arrive, who is continuing to hold 4th place at the bungalow. At the moment, showing in 4th is Mike Brown, 17.9 seconds down on Harrison. Then Dominic Herbertson is next, 2.3 down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, disappointment for the Manx crew because Connor Cummins is in for a pit stop at the end of lap 1 of the Superbike race. The rear stand has gone in already, so the Manxman, I think you said he was down in about 12th position on the first couple of splits. He said about that new tyre that he tried before the start of this race, he said he was going to suck it and see. So obviously it is not worthy. He just give a bit of one of those handshakes to say no, that's going to be it. So it looks like for Manx listeners, and of course up in Ramsey, the Ramsey Master won't be happy. Connor, a retirement's back to you.
Oh, that is unfortunate for Connor, because we had high hopes after such a great qualifying performance. We thought this could be really Connor coming back to the forefront here. And it's such a shame that he's out here at the TT Grandstand.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But we all the Manxies out there, they'll be hanging their hopes on Nathan Harrison now, who's really putting in an impressive performance. Is that him? Just no, we're still waiting for him to come through the start-finish straight. But when he does, I'd expect him to bump up the order to possibly. Oh, there he is in 4th position.
He's through. He's done a lap of 131.270 miles per hour for Nathan. Oh wow, his first ever official 130 plus, and he's actually jumped straight into the 131s.
He's in exactly where he needs to be. You know, this is still a 4-lap Superbike race. Anything can happen. You know, we saw a couple of years ago a couple of little mishaps in the pit lane, and he's right where he needs to be for a podium if anything should go wrong in front of him.
Right, let's run you down the leaderboard at the end of lap 1 as these guys make their way out to Glen Helen on lap 2. Davey Todd, then it was 16 minutes, 51.566 on the BMW, 134.275. Michael Dunlop then second, 133.236. That's 7.8 seconds down on the race leader. Dean Harrison is 1.4 seconds further back on the Honda, 133.051. Fourth is Nathan Harrison on the H&H Honda, 13.8 seconds down on Harrison, 131.27. Then Mike Brown on the KTS BMW holding on to 5th, 130.748. Dominic Herbertson 6th on the Honda, 130.455. Also over 130 in 7th place, Davo Johnson. In 8th, Josh Brooks. In 9th, James Hillier, all over the 130. Then Ian Hutchinson, 129.931 in 10th. Mikey Evans is holding on to 11th. Sean Anderson 12th. Paul Jordan 13th. John McGuinness is down in 14th place. Then Rob Hodgson, Phil Crow, Connor Cummins, who we know retired here at the grandstand, Marcus Simpson, Mick O'Sweeney and Erno Costamo rounding out the top 20 that we have so far.
It looks as though Josh Brooks has found something found something for race week that they were struggling for in practice week, because I know the stability of the Honda wasn't where it wanted to be, and Josh said that he wasn't really able to ride the bike in the same way that a lot of the other Honda riders were. He needs it a little bit more stable, like he rides on the short circuits, but he's in, looks like 10th place now, so he's moved a little bit further forward. Also looks like Michael Dunlop's closing the gap on Davey Todd, so Davey might have his work cut out if he wants to win this race. I think when Michael sees his pit boards, he sees that gap coming down, he'll be really screwing the nut to try and catch Davey.
News from race control that our leading newcomer Mitch Reese has slipped off at the hairpin. Rider is okay. So Mitch Reese off at the hairpin. Rider okay. As we understand it, we also have gathered that James Hind has stopped at the mounted box and possibly proceeded. Yes, we think he has proceeded now, James Hind. And Reese Hardesty is stopped and retired at Sulby Bridge. So that's such a shame for Mitch Reese in his opening TT race.
A real shame, because he was showing some really impressive promise. He was, I think he was faster on his first night of practice than Glenn Irwin was on his first night of practice. Glenn Irwin, obviously the fastest ever newcomer up the Alaman TT course. So, yeah, we was expecting good things from Mitch. But it is only race one. You know, sounds like he's okay, and I'm sure they'll be able to go again later on in the day.
Davey Todd out through Glen Helen on lap 2 then is on a 1:35 pace on this lap. Glen Helen to Glen Helen, 135.057. We'll get the idea of the leaderboard as they get out to Glen Helen. Has he extended the lead? He hasn't. Michael Dunlop has actually bitten into him a little bit there. The lead has come down to 5.9 seconds. Todd leads Dunlop by Glen Helen. Lap 2, Dean Harrison is now 3 seconds back on Dunlop. Mike Brown, 22 seconds down on Harrison, but we wait Nathan Harrison to come in, obviously. Then Davo Johnson is 4.2 seconds down on Brown. Dominic Herbertson a 1/10 of a second down on Davo Johnson, rounding out the top 6 through Glen Helen. So far, we await Dominic Herbertson and Nathan Harrison.
Yes, we do. It feels like the race is starting to settle down now. We've got a better idea of who's where and who's got the pace. The lads will start looking at the pit board, start thinking about if they can make any time up. Obviously, on a 6-lap TT race, you'd usually be looking at the kind of last couple of laps to really decide where we are with things. But obviously, they're halfway through lap 2 now, so they'll be looking at coming into the pit lane at the end of this lap. Once they get out of the pit lane, you know, if fingers crossed, no one has any issues in there, they'll be really thinking about trying to get themselves going and catch the guy in front of them, and hopefully get as much pace as they possibly can to get as high up the leaderboard as they can.
We're waiting for Davey Todd. He makes it there to Balaf now. The first 3 are all through Balaf on lap 2 of this RST by D30 Superbike TT. Davey Todd leads now. He's gone out a little bit again over Dunlop. 6.2. It was down to under 6 at Glen Helen. It's gone out to 6.2 seconds now that Davey Todd leads Michael Dunlop by Balaf lap 2. Then Dean Harrison is now 4.1 seconds down on Dunlop in 3rd. Then we have Nathan Harrison has made it through Glen Helen, continuing to hold on to 4th place. We've got Davo Johnson, James Hillier and John McGuinness also all through Balaf. We're having to wait though for obviously Harrison. Herbertson as well is holding on to 7th place at Glen Helen. So it's after Dunlop then it's Harrison. Then it will be Nathan Harrison. So it'll be Dean Harrison in 3rd, Nathan Harrison in 4th, then Mike Brown 5th. Then it will be, we're trying to work out who's through Balaf and who's through Glen Helen. It will be Davo Johnson, I think, maybe in 6th, and then Dominic Herbertson 7th, with James Hillier lying 8th.
Just looking at some of the guys going over Balaf Bridge there, and the difference in style is quite remarkable. We saw Davey Todd getting a massive amount of air, looked like he could jump over about 4 school buses, and then a couple of minutes later, a few seconds later really, we saw Josh Brooks going over there, and there was probably an inch or 2 of air. Really kept the bike stable, really kept the wheels in line. We've just seen Mike Brown go over there. I think he bottomed the whole bike out on the landing. It's just, you know, it's what suits you. The idea of getting loads and loads of air over these jumps, particularly Balaf Bridge, it's exciting, it looks cool, but you do, and it's fast, but you do risk causing damage to your bike. You do risk you do risk bottoming things out and scraping things on the floor. So it's a bit of a yeah, you got to be careful when you're taking as much air as that.
Continuing to watch then as these guys are now making their way between Balaf and Ramsey, the leaders on the road on this lap 2. Davey Todd leading by 6.2 seconds from Dunlop. Harrison in third, Dean Harrison in third. Nathan Harrison, we wait for his arrival at Balaf to slot into fourth, we hope, with Dominic Herbertson now through Balaf. He will be fifth, then Davo Johnson, then James Hillier and Mike Brown. Sean Anderson down, just holding on to a top 10 place, just about 10th at the moment, but more riders still to come through as Dean Harrison is already heading to Ramsey. We see him now on the run up towards the hairpin. Michael Dunlop has got past Davo Johnson, so there's only, I think, Dean Harrison ahead of Michael Dunlop on the road. He may well be second on the road now behind Dean Harrison, and that's obviously quite a gap.
Yeah, it's a big enough gap that he probably can't see Dean. Michael set off 30 seconds behind Dean Harrison, and yeah, he might be able to see him on a couple of the really long sections like the mountain mile. When they get up on the mountain section of the course, your visibility is a lot better because obviously there's not as many houses and trees and stuff. But yeah, it's certainly too far away to get any slipstream from him.
James Hind has now retired up on the mountain, we understand it, and so too has Loris Matsan. He's out on the mountain mile, so a couple more retirements popping up on the leaderboard, and it's the first race of a whole week to come, so these guys have got plenty more chances, but we are heading over the mountain already on lap 2 of this Superbike TT and heading towards the pits. At what point do you start thinking about the pit stop?
To be honest, it's for me, it was always coming out of the Cregner Bar. When I came out of the Cregner Bar, that's when I'm thinking, right, look after the bike, look after the fuel. We said before that some of these bikes only just make 2 laps, and sometimes you can give it a big handful coming out of a corner like the Craig. The fuel sloshes to the back of the fuel tank, starves the fuel pump, and yeah, the bike starts cutting and missing a little bit. So I'm anticipating the second or the last couple of miles of this lap, they'll just be maybe rolling a little bit if they're a bit tight on fuel, making sure they get to that pit stop. As soon as you come out of onto the start-finish line on Glencrutchery Road, you need to be keeping to the left-hand side of the track, looking for the pit entrance. There's a bus stop there that you can use as a bit of a braking marker. You need to get these bikes down to 60 kilometres an hour, get your pit lane limiter on, and get the thing slowed down. It's actually very difficult when you get into the pit lane because all your team are in overalls and balaclavas, so it's quite difficult to see exactly where your team are. But hopefully all the boys and girls, all the boys in this race, have had a good idea, had a look in pit lane, see where the team are set up, and they're not going to overshoot their guys.
Absolutely. We're waiting for the arrival of the race leaders up at the bungalow. We can see Rhys Hardesty, who we just announced as a retirement. He's currently making his way down the coast road from Ramsey down to Laxey, so maybe he's going to pop in for an ice cream on a nice sunny day on the Isle of Man.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you are down there, we'll have one as well up here in the commentary box.
Absolutely. So in terms of the race picture then, at Ramsey on lap 2, Davey Todd leading the way by 7.5 seconds from Michael Dunlop. Then Dean Harrison is 4.9 seconds down on Dunlop. These gaps are just sort of, that one's fairly stabilised between Todd and Dunlop, and then Dunlop's just taking a little bit out of Harrison in each sector.
Yeah, they are. Like I said before, it seems like the race is just starting to calm down a little bit now, but we'll keep an eye on them times and sector times, just like the boys will be keeping an eye on their pit boards. They'll get out of the a pit stop on the end of this lap, and they'll start figuring out whether or not they can catch the guy in front. Sometimes if you're giving it everything you possibly can, and you see that the number on your pit board extending, i.e., the guy in front of you is just pulling away, and you've got nothing else to give, then sometimes the best course of action is just to say, you know what, I'm happy with this position. But if you see that time coming down a little bit and you see yourself catching them, then that just spurs you on to really give it that little bit extra and try and catch them on the road.
It's Michael Dunlop who seems to be the fastest man out there at the moment. He's just done the fastest climb of the mountain of the race, and so he'll have nibbled a little bit back out, only a couple of tenths though. It's Todd that leads Dunlop by 7.2 seconds at the bungalow on lap 2, heading towards these all-important pit stops. Dean Harrison is then 8.1 seconds. That's blown out because of that run up the mountain by Dunlop. He's put 4 seconds more into Dean Harrison. Now it's gone out to 8.1 seconds between Dunlop and Harrison, second to third, although Dean was talking about how big a struggle the bike was at the Northwest and during the early part of practice here. From the shots we're seeing, it looks a lot more settled today for Dean.
It does, and you know, halfway through the Northwest 200 they look like they made some improvements to the bike, and I know halfway through race week they've made some improvements to the stability of the bike. It looks really stable. Dean is a rider that can ride a bike that's a little bit loose. He's got that style that, you know, if the bike's a bit out of shape or the back wheel spinning, he does seem to be able to hang on to it. So it's probably something that he can deal with to a certain extent. But when the bike's moving around a lot, it does, you know, it gets to a point where you just can't go any faster because it ties itself in that much of a knot. You have to roll the throttle. So hopefully they've found a setting that works. And I mean, the lap times are still very good. He's in third place now. I know we tipped him for a win, but it's you know, he's still in the shout. They could easily lose a bit of time in the pit lane, and then he's you know, you're back on the shirt tails of the two guys in front of him.
Yeah, Todd, Harrison and Dunlop all on, that's Dean Harrison, all on a 1:34 type pace heading back here towards the pit lane. They will lose a little bit of time, of course, slowing down for the pits as Dean Harrison is already at Cronknamona. So the first man on the road at Cronknamona heading for these all-important pit stops. We'll try and pick up where some of the others are. We're still waiting for Nathan Harrison to arrive at the bungalow. After Todd, Harrison, and we've got Harrison, Todd, Dunlop now has reached Cronknamona as well. Then we go showing Davo Johnson at the moment in fourth, but we know Nathan Harrison is still to come in at Bungalow. Then James Hillier, then Josh Brooks, and then Dominic Herbertson. But we can see now Michael Dunlop, it looks like, just going through Signpost Corner, heading down towards Bedstead. And they made a big change yesterday and got that rocket BMW. Suddenly they managed to step it up from 129 to 132. That change that we were talking about yesterday during qualifying under the headstock, they made a big change.
It is a rocket, isn't it? And it looks like Dean Harrison's coming onto Glen Crutchery Road and about to enter the pit lane down underneath us.
Let's not miss any of the action. Let's get down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, the red, white and blue Honda with the number 3 in the front comes in past the old stop box and will go just alongside us, down a little bit on the left hand side. Dean across the line back at Cronknamona. He's 9.5 back at Michael Dunlop, and Davey Todd through there had a lead of 7.8, so there's only 17 seconds covers the top 3, and what a ride by Nathan Harrison. But here he is, Michael Dunlop on the charge into the stop box, down to the 60 kilometres an hour, rolls in with the rocket BMW. You hear the klaxon going again. I can just see the sign going up for Davo, like you were saying there, Mike Booth, in commentary about the fact you need to where your guys are. So here's number 2, here's Davey Todd. Davey Todd across the line, he leads by 7.1 seconds, and he's just there, a couple of pit boxes back off Michael Dunlop as John McGuinness comes in. John slotting in the top 15 at the moment. So Davey Todd in, Michael Dunlop in, and Dean Harrison in, and also Davo Johnson and John McGuinness all in for their pit stop. New tyre gone in for Dino on the Honda, and he is away. The rear tyre being changed at Michael Dunlop's machine. The torque wrench is on. Click, there it goes into position. Check the chain tension, check the rear brake, make sure that's all right. Just that final bit of fuel coming in. They're just tapping the tank just to get as much in as they can, as we have number 5 going in, James Elliott. This is going to be tight. Whoa, well watched, James. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Michael Dunlop in and out of the pits. We're now waiting for Davey Todd to leave, and we will get the splits as Davo Johnson just about to leave there now. So let's have a little look at our pit stop times. We'll get that from Boydie in a minute or two. But Davey Todd, now Davey Todd, a couple of problems getting away. A couple of seconds lost there as Josh Brooks comes in on the 7 machine. Michael Dunlop with his pit stop. Let's have a little look, 55 seconds. Who else have we got? 1 minute and 8 seconds for Davey Todd. 1 minute and 1 second for Davey Todd. Harrison at 55. Johnson, Davo Johnson 56. McGuinness at 56. But Chris Boyd, Davey Todd losing 6 seconds there in the pit stop.
That means the lead will be down to 1 second. Todd leads Dunlop by 1.18 seconds, leaving the pit stops. Just 1 second in this Superbike TT race, Chris.
Yeah, keeping a little eye up the road for Nathan Harrison. He hasn't made Cronk-Demona as of yet. We've got everybody through who's in the pits at the moment. Josh Brooks, by the look of it, a little bit further down. I think that could be Mike Brown with the KTS machine. So we've got 1-2 machines in. We're just waiting to see when Nathan will slot in. Great showing by young Nathan as well. Massive disappointment for Connor as Josh Brooks gets away. Had a quick chat with Connor. He just said it was all over the place, so we decided to park it. And I suppose, you know, that is fair enough. Use that as a bit of a test. But here we go. The klaxon going once more. It's Dominic, I think it is, coming in. Yeah, it's Dominic on 13. So Dominic slotting into his position. I've also got Hutchinson in on the number 12 machine. So what do we got then? It's Nathan Harrison, the rider we are waiting for to come through at Cronk-Demona, and he is through there now. And he's 28 seconds back off Dean Harrison with about a 9-second gap to Davo Johnson, who's behind him. So Nathan Harrison with a great showing, and of course getting into that 130 club, doing a 131. So Ian Hutchinson in at the moment, provisionally in 10th place. Dominic Herbertson on the 13 bike, provisionally into 7th. You hear the klaxon going once more, and here he is. Here's Nathan, the young Manxman. Manx Grand Prix winner, of course. His pit is right the way down the bottom on the left-hand side, and he slots into 4th place. Nathan Harrison in 4th place, 28.392 back, Chris Boyd. But more importantly, what was his second lap?
For Nathan Harrison, it was 130.824, slowing down to come into the pits. Obviously, we'll give you the leading lap times in a moment, Chris.
Yeah, we got 15. Rob Hodgson in next. Where does Rob slot into provisionally at the moment? Rob in about, let's have a little look at that, in 12th position. Quite hard and complaining about the sun as blasting on the old iPad here to see what's going on. Dominic Herbertson with a few problems exiting pit lane. A bit of a wheelie on the Honda on the way out. Phil Crow in at the moment. Where's Phil? 12th position for the number 18 BMW is Big Phil. He's at the far end of the pit lane. It's getting busy here now. Here comes the Daffabet machine, the Honda, and Mikey Evans. Michael slots into provisionally 11th position at the moment. His crew are behind me here, so don't be getting in their way. We have another machine just leaving, so 21 Mikey Evans is in. Somebody in and off the bike at the moment. I still think that's it. Mike Brown, is it? I think this is Mike has got a few problems. Just down halfway down on the left-hand side, they're just having a few problems with the rear wheel, I think, just getting that in. So we'll go down and just give this a bit of context. So machine's leaving all the time, so you've got to keep your little wits about you here. That's the SMT machine of Rob Hodgson going to Mike Brown. It looks like Mike is possibly going to be a disappointment. I think they've just got a problem, maybe with the wheel sitting on the carry or something on the disc on the right-hand side there. So it looks like Mike is going to lose a lot of time and possibly be out of this race. But we're waiting for Mikey Evans, number 21. 30-second penalty in the pits for Rob Hodgson, expeding 62.5 kilometres in the pits. So Rob Hodgson, and it looks like Phil Crow is going to be a retirement as well. So Big Phil Crow 18 is out. But there goes Mikey Evans on the Daffabet machine. Mikey Evans away as Mike Brown still stays, and Paul Jordan PJ at number 20, he gets away. So Phil Crow retirement at the moment. He's off the bike and walked off, and also Mike Brown. They're still looking at the rear of the machine, not finished as of yet. Mike just pointing something to the crew. And here's Mick O'Sweeney. He told me before the start of the race that he was having a few setup problems, made some major changes, and at the moment he slots into 16th place. But the leaders, lap 3, are at Glen Helen.
Absolutely. Dean Harrison is through Glen Helen. Let's give you some of the lap 2 times while we wait for other runners to come through. Michael Dunlop, yeah, he's 12 seconds up. It's Davey Todd we're waiting on, though. We think it's down to 1.18 seconds leaving the pits as we see Michael Dunlop through Sarah's. We'll wait for the arrival of Davey Todd. He shouldn't be far away to get this race position. Then we will recap those lap 2 times. We're just going to wait on Todd. Todd has caught Davo Johnson on the road. That may just delay him a little bit. 1.5 seconds it is, and Todd clears him just on the entry to Sarah's. Todd gets past Davo Johnson. So Todd continues to lead, but it's down to 1.5 seconds over Michael Dunlop on the BMW. The pair of BMWs, Davey on the 810 BMW, Michael on the Rocket BMW. Dean Harrison now 12 seconds down on Dunlop. Let's give you those lap 2 times. It was Michael Dunlop who was fastest on lap 2. 16 minutes 53.891, 133.967. Davey Todd second fastest, 133.874. Dean Harrison 132.682. Then Nathan Harrison 130.8. He did 131.2 on the opening lap. Davo Johnson 130.6. Josh Brooks 129.8. And John McGuinness 129.8 as well. In terms of the position coming out of the pit stops, it was Dunlop obviously pulled that gap straight down to 1.18. It was Davey Todd took a 61.8 second pit stop against Michael Dunlop's 55.8. Dean Harrison then did a 55.5 to take 0.3 out of Dunlop and pull that down to 10.8, but it's gone back out to 12 by the time they get to Glen Helen. Nathan Harrison then is 29.7 seconds down on Dean Harrison coming out of the pits. David Johnson in 5th, 8.9 seconds down on Nathan, and Josh Brooks was 8.2 seconds down on Davo as Erno Costamo gets himself a 30-second pit lane penalty for 74.9 kilometres per hour in the pit lane, Mike.
Yeah, it really is shades of RST Superbike TT from last year, isn't it? As one little mishap in the pit lane can really close the job up so much. You know, we're looking at a lead of 1.5 seconds after 2.5 laps racing around the TT course. It really is incredible. And interestingly, I've just noticed a couple of little moments from Dean Harrison on the live feed. You wonder if the team have just given him the hurry up in the pit lane and said, you know, if you want to win this race, you've really got to get your finger out, because them two boys in front of you are really giving it the berries.
Back down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, just had a quick word about Mike Brown, who just had a chat with him before he walked away. Very softly spoken sort of chap. And he said he could feel it halfway around the first lap. He could just feel something tightening up, and he wasn't sure what it was. They think it could be something to do with the rear caliper on that BMW. So that bike now, unfortunately, being wheeled away, and Mike Brown is a retirement.
That is unfortunate for Mike, as we say. So we'll wait now for the leaders to arrive, as the first man does. Dean Harrison on lap 3 is out through Balaf already. We need to wait for race leader Davey Todd to arrive. And, of course, Michael, all action there on the broach to Balaf, Mike.
Yeah, you can see he's really trying, and he has that a typical sort of nose-heavy landing off Balaf Bridge. That's something that we're used to seeing him doing. The bike was unsettled on the way in, but you know he's trying, and so is Davey Todd. We're just watching him now, and the bike's getting all twisted and turned. Big old wheelie over Balaf Bridge, showing the fans his motocross heritage, I think.
Absolutely, it's out to 3 seconds again now at Balaf. Davey Todd leads Michael Dunlop by 3 seconds. It's then 14 seconds to Dean Harrison. News from race control: Sean Anderson has come off at Joey's. Rider is okay. So Sean Anderson off at Joey's, rider okay. Chris Kinley.
Yeah, just telling you that the French rider we spoke to at the start of the race, Timothy Minot, came in, completely missed his braking point, and his pit crew were waiting at the end, and he scattered them, absolutely scattered them. It just shows you here in pit lane, you've got to keep an eye up the road. As I think this is Sam West coming in. It is Sam West on 26, so a bit of action down here with Timothy Minot, and Mark Parrott is in on his 93rd TT start. He's in for his pit stop as well as more riders come in, Barry Ferber and also Paul Potchy Williams. But that thing of Timothy Minot, he's just going to go past us there now. It's a good job his team had their wits about him, and the French rider on bike 39 just can't seem to get the thing fired. There she goes. She's away there now for Tim. He's such an effluent character as Tim, and he gets away. Just watch that speed limiter. I think you were saying one of the riders has done 74 in a 60. Oh dear, back to you.
Absolutely, the speed police are in business today. So Davey Todd then on the BMW, leading by 3 seconds from Dean Harrison. We'll try and get you a little bit further down the leaderboard from here at the TT Grandstand at the end of lap 2. We know it was Todd, Dunlop, Harrison, then Nathan Harrison slotted into 4th, then Davo Johnson, Josh Brooks holding 6th, in 7th James Hillier, in 8th Dominic Herbertson, in 9th will be John McGuinness with Mike Brown's retirement, 10th for Mikey Evans, 11th Ian Hutchinson, 12th Paul Jordan, 13th will be Philip Crow, 14th Amalric Blanc. That's a great ride for Amalric so far, 14th position at the end of lap 2. Then Mikko Sweeney, 15th. Rob Hodson will hold on to 16th. Lucas Mora, good ride by him as well, 17th. Marcus Simpson into the top 20 in 18th. So to his fellow local rider Jamie Kringle on the Bavens machine. He'll be into 19th, and South Africa's Alan Ventnor will round out the top 20.
Just looking at some of these speed trap times, and you know we're into the 194 miles an hour. Is there a problem for Dean Harrison? No, I think that was just a Rossi's leg dangle going into Parliament Square. I thought there was an issue there, but it doesn't look like there is, because he's he's on the pipe on the way out as Michael Dunlop follows him in, using all the road. It looked like he was going to catch those humongous wings on that BMW on the curb just there. So he'll he's going to have to be careful. Oh, he's absolutely squirrely into Stella Maris, I think it is. Is Mr. Cruikshanks is Mr. Dunlop.
So into Ramsey then, and we Davy Todd coming very wide approach into Parliament Square, so that bike just maybe getting a little bit looser. He looks back on it now as he heads up through Crookshanks up towards Whitegate and then on to Stella Maris and the run into the hairpin. Let's just see what it looks like through White. It looks fairly settled and planted as it comes through Whitegate, so just a little bit of a moment on the approach to Parliament Square.
Yeah, there's on the TT course, I think you end up having he's pushing that bike every which way he possibly can. Have we got something going on out the window?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So Davy Todd's outbraked himself into Parliament Square. That can easily happen. That's a very fast entry. You come out of Schoolhouse Corner, you're probably 140, 150 miles an hour, and if you just miss your braking point by a couple of meters, you end up running wide, and when you've only got a lead of 1.9 seconds...
It's cost him. It's come down to 1.9 as a result. Davy Todd leads the race by 1.9 seconds at Ramsey on lap 3 from Michael Dunlop. This still could go either way. Get those boards out to Michael Dunlop. Let him know he's only 1.9 seconds off the race lead here.
When he sees that board that says plus 1.9, he'll be doing everything he can to get that number as low as he can. But then at the same time, Davy Todd, he'll know that he's not got much of a lead, and that's probably why we saw that little mistake going into Parliament Square, because he'll be doing everything he possibly can to increase that lead. And this is the territory that we're in when we see really fast lap times. If Davy Todd's only got a lead of a second or two on the last lap, Davy Todd and Michael Dunlop will, they'll be giving it everything on that last lap, and that's when we might see a very, very, very impressive lap time. Will we see a lap record pace on the last lap of the RST Superbike race?
Big front end landing for Michael Dunlop over the lap that we're seeing on the live stream from a little bit further back on this lap. On the Rooker BMW, he is close to within 1.9 seconds of Davy Todd as they are on the climb of the mountain, heading up towards Guthrie, then onto the mountain mile, then the veranda that will bring them into the bungalow. So Todd leads 1.9 seconds from Dunlop. Then Harrison has now slipped right back on Dunlop. 18.3 seconds between Dunlop and Harrison at Ramsey on lap 3. Nathan Harrison continues to hold 4th at Ballaugh. Then we will have Dave O'Johnson in 5th, James Hillier and 6th, as we wait more riders to get through Ramsey.
We're just looking at the Ian Hutchinson now, who had a fantastic result at the Northwest 200 a couple of weeks ago. He's been caught on the road by Dom Herbertson, who again is showing some very impressive pace. Dom, I think at the minute is top 6. Yes, top 8. He's running at 8th place. A top 10 in a Superbike race for Dom Herbertson. I'm sure he'll be more than happy with that. He'll take that on to the next races and be looking to improve as best he can.
Harrison is through the bungalow, but we're waiting on Nathan now. As Nathan does now arrive into Ramsey right now, he continues to hold on to 4th place. This would be such a result for Nathan Harrison after the injuries and all the family things that he's gone through over the last few years. Okay, he's not there on the podium at the moment, but he doesn't need anything but one bike's attrition ahead of him, and it could be a podium for Nathan Harrison.
You're quite right, and it's 4th place is as good as you get without being on the podium, isn't it? I'm sure he'll be thrilled with that position, and everyone on the Isle of Man will be really pleased to see a Manxman so close to the podium, if not on the podium, because don't forget we've still got a lap and a bit to go.
Dunlop is coming. The gap is down to 1.1 seconds at the bungalow. Todd leads now by reduced margin, 1.1 seconds at the bungalow on lap 3 of this reduced 4-lap Superbike TT. So 1.1 seconds. We are going to have that race onto the final lap for sure. Dean Harrison has now slipped a further 4 seconds back, 22.5 seconds down on Dunlop, and we also have Dave O'Johnson and John McGuinness through the bungalow, but we're next waiting then on Nathan Harrison to arrive. So Todd and Dunlop are going at it here.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think that last lap's going to be a bit of a corker, isn't it? Dean Harrison with 22 seconds in front of him. He's probably thinking now, that the chances of a race win are probably a little bit slim. He'll be thinking, right, I just need to get the bike back. He's got a lap and a bit to go. He'll be thinking, just ride safe, get the bike back, let them two boys in front of him do whatever they need to do. But yeah, Davy Todd and Michael Dunlop, they're going to be they're going to be scrapping to the very end of this race, I think.
The catalyst for this Dunlop charge is once again the climb of the mountain, the run from Ramsey up to the bungalow. He set the fastest sector time of the race on this third lap. So coming out of the refuelling halt, he set the fastest sector time, climb of the mountain of the race, and that has allowed him to close in. We've seen that consistently, really. That Rocket BMW just seems to have maybe a little bit more oomph up the mountain. It's running a different electronics package, isn't it, to the 810 bikes?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, the 810 bikes, I think, are running the electronics package that the guys use in the British Superbikes. I believe the BMW of Michael Dunlop is on the Alpha kit electronics. So yeah, a different type of a package. They do a similar thing, but it just means you can things can be adjusted in a different way. And we've seen how fast that BMW of Michael Dunlop's is. Hopefully, it can get to the end of a 4-lap Superbike race.
Michael Russell has retired at Ballacrane, we understand. So Michael Russell, the latest retirement on a building list, it has to be said, from this Superbike, opening Superbike TT. As we now pick up Dean Harrison, first man on the road, heading into the Nuke. So he's heading down towards Governor's Bridge, Governor's Dip. He will not be long before he's with us onto Glen Crutchy Road. We see him on the anchors now, get it on the brakes into the dip, and the helicopter just sits over the top while he is going through there. And in fact, here he is. He's on to Glen Crutchy Road now. We'll have him sweeping across in front of us very, very soon, and then we'll get the latest update. Here he goes. 125.8, including the pit stop. There goes Dunlop. Dunlop head right down on the tank line, right as close almost to the pit lane wall as you can get there for Dunlop. But now we wait for Todd to see what this race position is. Todd, we think, is on to Glen Crutchy Road. Here he goes. It's gone back out to 1.9 seconds. So Todd leads at the end of lap 3 by 1.951 seconds, with Dean Harrison now 24 seconds back in third. Let's give you the lap 3 times, which do include the pit stop, obviously. So Michael Dunlop, 127.474 is the fastest of them. 17 minutes 45.5, including the pit stop. As the next then go through, that's Dave Johnson, John McGuinness, I think, going through as well. Davey Todd's lap 3 time, including that 6 seconds that was dropped at the pit stop, 126.851. Then Dean Harrison, 125.853. But there's still less than 2 seconds in this, Mike.
There is, and crucially, Michael Dunlop is now within 5 seconds of Dean Harrison on the actual road, which means he's got that carrot, he's got that thing to focus on. He'll be using Dean as a bit of a gauge. He'll be doing what he can to catch him, and that just helps. It's a bit like having a lap timer on. You know, you can use the next rider as a gauge, which is what we'll be doing. And Davey doesn't necessarily have that, so it'd be interested to see the next few laps whether or not that means Dunlop's got an extra bit of spice that he can find. Having said that, if he does catch Dean Harrison, which it looks like he's going to in the next lap, it means he's going to have to overtake him. Will Dean hear him behind him and let him past, or will there be a bit of argy-bargy? Because it's not always easy to tell if there's someone behind you. So Michael will want to be getting past him as soon as he possibly can. But, you know, if he catches him somewhere like the Glen Helen section or the Conkertree section, it really can be quite difficult to pass, and you end up losing a bit more time than you might gain by having that carrot. So that'll be interesting to watch.
Dunlop absolutely seems to have got the message. He set the fastest sector time of the race, as we say, on the climb of the mountain on lap 4. Also the fastest sector time of the race between Cronknamona and here to just push and push and push. He's obviously getting the signal to say there's a chance here.
Yeah, and we've seen in the past, haven't we, Michael Dunlop not starting the races as, you know, quite as ballistically as everyone else, and then just building. We certainly saw it a few weeks ago at the Northwest 200. We've seen it in previous TTs. He just gets faster and faster and faster, and if that's the case, then Davey Todd's got some issue, a bit of a job to do.
Dean Harrison then, and in fact Dunlop can see him now as they come out in towards Harolds and Gorsley. Harrison is leading on the road, but Dunlop is really charging after him. You can see all action on the bike.
Yeah, you can see how much these boys are trying, and the last couple of laps I've seen Dean have a few little squirms and twitches, and the same for Michael Dunlop, but they'll be giving it, particularly Michael Dunlop, because he knows there's a chance he can take this win and increase his win tally to 30 wins at the TT. Yeah, he'll be every opportunity to open that throttle, will be pinning it as much as he can.
And Davey similarly will have the same kind of messages to say. He's right behind you. Push, push, push.
Yeah, it's all to lose now, isn't it? Really, they've got less than a lap to go, and as they're just approaching the Glen Helen section, this is where it's really, really technical. You can make some big mistakes. You can lose a lot of time in this section. You can gain a lot of time, but it's very easy to make a mistake. And when you're on that edge, that's when mistakes happen.
On the way then to Glen Helen at the end of lap 3, Davey Todd led by 1.95 seconds from Michael Dunlop. 24.9 seconds then out to Dean Harrison, who's third. Nathan Harrison has come through and continues to hold 43 seconds down on Dean Harrison. Davo Johnson is fifth, 16.5 seconds down on Nathan. Then James Hillier is 3.9 seconds down on Davo. 7.8 seconds down is James Hillier, who's next as Harrison and Dunlop, almost line astern, arrive at Glen Helen. Dunlop has definitely got the carrot. He's no more than a second and a half behind on the road as they head up from Glen Helen up through Sarah's Cottage. Then it'll be on to Lamfell and then onto the Cronkivody Straight, and he will definitely have the carrot in front of him all the way along Cronkivody.
Yeah, you're not wrong, and it looks as though Dunlop has caught Harrison at an ideal time.
It's down, it's only 0.2 of a second. Todd leads by at Glen Helen, lap 4, the final lap of this RST by D30 Superbike TT, and there is 1/4 of a second between Davey Todd and Michael Dunlop.
Well, there we go. You see, that carrot's obviously worked for Michael Dunlop. He's seen Dean in the distance and used him to catch him up. Let's hope he doesn't lose too much time passing him. I think, by the looks of it, he's caught him at quite a good place and probably be able to out-drag him down Cronkivody. If he can get in front of him all through the 11th milestone and Hanley's section, he'll probably pull a little bit of a gap. Dean's unlikely to overtake him again because I don't think he's got the pace, and realistically he's not in the same race as Dunlop now because Dunlop is 30 seconds in front of him in the race. So it's hotting up, it really is.
Dunlop is absolutely on a charge here on the final lap of this RST by 3DO Superbike TT. The lead has been crashed right down to 1/4 of a second. As I'm not sure if Chris is down in the pits. We see Ian Hutchinson down there. Looks like he's done for his race, Chris.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hutchie came in. He was provisionally running in about, where was he, about 14th to 15th position. Hutchie came in straight off the bike. But yeah, that lead has been dropping, hasn't it, Buddy? It was 2 and a bit seconds at Cronknamoda, 1.9 here, and down to 0.269. This is hotting up the last lap of the RST by D30 Superbike race.
Absolutely incredible stuff. We've got the pair of them out there absolutely flying. We know that Dunlop is catching Harrison on the road. He's going to have to get past him in a hurry.
Yeah, that's right. He can quite easily lose a little bit of time following someone, and the difference in pace between Dunlop and Dean Harrison isn't great enough that it's not going to be very easy for Dunlop to pass him if he catches him. It just looks like it looks like he's following him through the Kirkmichael section there.
Oh, he's had to back out there, hasn't he?
He's had to roll. Each one of them rolls is going to cost him a second here, a second there, and when it's as close as it is, he just looks like he's going to squeeze past. Oh, that is scary stuff as they approach the Rencullen section. But crucially, it looks like Michael Dunlop is now in front of Dean Harrison on the road. And Dean will be doing everything he can to keep in Michael Dunlop's wheel tracks. But Dunlop, he's cleared him, and now we'll probably see some more of that blistering pace that we've seen up to now.
Dunlop leads on the road then on the final lap of this RST D30 Superbike TT. But my oh my, that's cost him a little bit. He got past Harrison right on the approach to Rencullen 1, up past the petrol station. Dunlop moved to the right hand side as Harrison moved a lot across as well for the racing line, and he got a little bit tight there up over the jump and 1, and then a big wheelie pulls over Rencullen 2. Dunlop now, he looks full race into Ballaugh. Yeah, big front wheel landing again on the Rocket BMW, pinned immediately. He knows he's in a race here.
Yeah, you can tell he's trying on the way into Ballaugh Bridge there, can't you? There was a little nod of the head as he approached the jump, just probably checking he's in the right gear. We see David Todd doing the same thing on the way to Ballaugh. He's much tidier over there, pulls the tear off, gets rid of the flies, back on the gas, and away he goes out of Ballaugh.
That has cost Dunlop catching Harrison and having to get past him and roll off a couple of times. It's gone back out to 2.2 seconds. Davy Todd leads Balaf lap 4, the final lap, by 2.2 seconds from Michael Dunlop. Dean Harrison, obviously having been overhauled on the road by Dunlop, is now just over 30 seconds behind him, 30.6. Nathan Harrison is through Glen Helen. He continues to hold on to 4th. Then Dave O'Johnson, then James Hillier and John McGuinness. We'll try to see if we can get a little bit further down the leaderboard as well at the end of lap 3. Then it was James Hillier who's holding on to 6th, Josh Brooks 7th, John McGuinness has moved himself up to 8th. Then Mikey Evans is 9th. Dominic Herbertson holding on to a top 10 position. 11th to 15th for Paul Jordan, Ian Hutchinson, Rob Hodson, Amalric Blanc and Miko Sweeney. 16th for Marcus Simpson. 17th now and moving up for Alan Ventnor. Jamie Kringle in 18th. 19th for Jonathan Perry. Rounding out the top 20 at the end of lap 3, Jonathan Getchke.
Can you imagine how frustrated Michael Dunlop's going to be? That tussle with Dean Harrison has obviously cost him a couple of seconds, but he really is going to have the bit between his teeth now for the second half of this lap, second half of the last lap of the RST by D30 Superbike race. It's still all to play for, isn't it?
Not least because we know that Rocket BMW has the legs up the mountain.
Yes.
And we've seen that on each of the laps so far, so this is far from done. There's a long way to go really still in this Superbike TT before we get anywhere near being able to decide who's won it. But yes, it's gone out from 1/4 of a second to 2.2 seconds at Balaf on lap 4.
Davey will be rubbing his hands together, metaphorically of course, when he sees his pit boards and sees that he has got a little bit of an extra lead, as we see on the replay of him just getting some enormous air over Balaf Bridge. He'll be keeping his fingers crossed that lead stays 2.5 seconds. But I've got a feeling it's not going to. I've got a feeling Mr. Dunlop will be just catching him, and when we get to the end of the lap, we'll see if we've still got a 2.5 second lead.
At the same time as Dunlop was delayed a little bit behind Dean Harris, and Davy Todd has upped the wick here. He set the fastest sector time of the race, Glen Helen through to Balaf, so they're definitely getting the messages. Dunlop now looks to have quite clear air. He's left Dean Harrison probably 3-4 seconds behind him as they go into Parliament Square, so they'll be at Ramsey before we know it here. We see them going out past the bus station. The front air's desperately trying to claw the air for Michael Dunlop. He's trying to get every ounce he can out of it.
Yeah, he can. You can see he's doing all he can to twist that throttle as far as he can. It's the last lap of a Superbike race. He's using all the track. He's trying his very best to catch Davy Todd, but of course Davy will be doing the exact same thing. And you know, it doesn't really matter what position you're in over lap 1, 2 and 3. It only matters what position you're in when you cross the finish line. And if these boys have had something in the bag, they've been sandbagging a tiny bit.
Dunlop's taken some back. Dunlop has taken some back. 1.9 seconds now at Ramsey on lap 4, the final lap. So Dunlop now goes on to his climb of the mountain, where he's shown an advantage in previous laps, but we know Todd is trying to respond as well. So this is very much in the melting pot. Todd 1.9 seconds ahead of Dunlop, with Harrison then 32.1 seconds back on that.
Well, we're just seeing a replay of one of the riders. I can't tell who that is, having a massive moment somewhere on the course. I think it was maybe coming out of Quarter Bridge, but yeah, you're right. Can you imagine though? Can you believe we've got 4 or 3.5 laps around here, and the guys are still within 2 seconds of each other? It really does. It really is quite incredible, isn't it?
It's all boiling up on these final 12 or so miles across the mountain. News on Dominic Herbertson: his chain has come off at Sarah's Cottage. So Dominic Herbertson out at Sarah's Cottage. That'll have been a scary moment with the chain coming off.
You're not wrong. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the speed trap times now. With Michael Dunlop 199 miles an hour down Sulby Straight. That is absolutely ballistic, and it just goes to show what happens if you bring a World Superbike engine to the Isle of Man TT. You can nearly touching 200 mile an hour down that straight. What an incredible speed that is.
We've seen well over 200 before, but that, in the conditions that we've had this year, is mightily impressive. So Todd and Dunlop then going at it over the mountain on lap 4. Who is going to come out victorious? Let's wait and see.
We're just watching Josh Brooks going into Parliament Square there. Again, nice and tidy. He did complain of stability issues on that Honda earlier on in the week, but it looks like he's nice and tidy. That bike looks to be on rails, and again, he's one of the most experienced riders here on a short circuit, so you'd expect him to be up there in the top 10 at some point.
Both Todd and Dunlop are on a 1:35 pace on this final lap. You said they might have to pull the pin. It's certainly happening.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, this is lap record territory, isn't it? I know we haven't had the best practice week, you know, and the guys aren't quite as near to being up to speed as they might like. But when you've got a superbike race, when you've got a race that is this competitive and this close, and they really need to do everything they can. They can't leave anything out of it. They've got to give it absolutely everything. And yeah, I think if we're going to see some fast laps, it's going to be lap 4 of this race.
Davy Todd won the Super Stock and Senior at last year's TT, so he's got 2 wins under his belt. He's trying to fend off 29 times winner Michael Dunlop as they dice over the mountain on the final road. There's 20 seconds between them on the road. Dunlop arrives into the bungalow, so first man on the road is through the bungalow. We'll have to wait those 20 seconds for Todd to arrive. We've got Dean Harrison in between them as well. In fact, we see Harrison now coming through behind Dunlop, maybe 4 or 5 seconds further back. In fact, 6.4 it is that Dunlop leads. Here's Todd, though. Let's see. Whoa, lead him right over on the run through. Let's see what the leaderboard's going to take. It's gone back out. Yeah, Todd this time on the climb of the mountains. Put it back out to 2.2 seconds. So Todd leads at the bungalow on the final lap by 2.2 seconds from Michael Dunlop, both on BMWs. Then Dean Harrison in third, 36.4 seconds down on Dunlop. Nathan Harrison continues to hold fourth. He's through Ramsey and onto the climb of the mountain. Davo Johnson then is fifth. Harrison is 57 seconds down on Dean Harrison. Davo is 18 seconds down on Nathan. Then James Hillier holding on to sixth. He's only 1.7 seconds down on Davo, so we'll need to watch that one as well. John McGuinness is showing in seventh, and then Josh Brooks in eighth.
Interestingly, we did a couple of laps ago see Davy Todd dragging his elbow around the bungalow. You wonder if that was a little bit of showboating. Well, there was absolutely no time for showboating anymore. Them elbows were tucked in that last time through the bungalow, because this is where it counts. This is where he needs to pull everything out of the bag, because there's with a couple of seconds in it, he is a few miles now, maybe 4 or 5 miles away from win number 4, I believe, is it, for Davy Todd? Win number 3 for Davy Todd. So yeah, he's the thoughts will be going through his head now. He'll be looking after his bike. He'll be thinking about whether or not the tank's got enough fuel in it. He'll be making sure, he'll be listening to all the bike, make sure it's not making any funny little noises as he drags down now to the Cregner Bar to almost finish his first race of TT 2025.
Indeed, it was Dunlop who set the fastest sector time of the race out to Glen Helen on this final lap. Todd then set the fastest sector timer of the race, Glen Helen to Balaf. Dunlop responded, Balaf to Ramsey to set the fastest sector time of the race, and Davy Todd has then responded again to set the fastest sector time of the race, Ramsey to Bungalow. It's literally ding-dong stuff, this.
It really is, isn't it? And they'll be keeping an eye on the pit boards, and I mean, yeah. What can you say about these two guys? They're both at the top of the game. Davy Todd, we've seen just improving over the last few years, and Dunlop a little bit more of a sort of TT stalwart, but yeah, it's great to see them right at the front at the top of the game.
Dunlop and Harrison are at Cronknamona, but it's Davy Todd we wait for, the race leader at the bungalow on the final lap. Todd we wait for, he's there now, it's gone out again, 2.5 seconds now Todd has of an advantage just with the run from Cronknamona to here to do. So Todd leads by 2.5 seconds from Dunlop Cronknamona lap 4. Then Dean Harrison is now 40 seconds down, and we wait for Nathan Harrison to arrive at the bungalow. Such is the pace of this race. We wait for that to happen, so we'll just see. We're waiting now. We watch Michael Dunlop is out onto Glencrutchy Road, so we'll have him across the line on the Rocket BMW any second. The checkered flag is being waved. Here he comes. Behind him on the road is Dean Harrison. He'll be coming any second. Dean's just maybe rolled off a little bit at the end. He's not here just yet. Here he is. And now we wait for Davy Todd. Will it be a third TT win for Davy Todd? Here he is. And it is. Todd wins by 1.2 seconds. So Dunlop did take almost a second and a quarter or so out on the run from Crocknamona 2 here on the final lap, but Todd wins on the BMW, the 810 BMW. A third TT win for Davey Todd from Michael Dunlop with Dean Harrison, 43.5. We'll keep an eye out for Nathan Harrison, but let's get down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, Michael Dunlop into that second position, and here comes Dean Harrison into that third position. Michael Dunlop 135.416 last lap. Dino 133.051, and another Superbike TT podium for Dean Harrison his last lap, 133.051, not 1333. And here comes your race winner, Davey Todd, on the 810 machine. He'll be coming up the little return road here. His quick last lap was a 16:43.7, 135.327. And like you say, Chris, he's won the Superstock TT. He's won the Senior TT, and now he has won on a big bike again with the RST by D30 Superbike TT. And he'll be coming in here any moment now to get the plaudits to take his third TT win into his position. I'm not sure if he's probably be doing burnouts. High fives all the way along, we're led to believe, up the little return road. And here's Peter Hickman, his teammate, coming in as well. And we'll get the reaction on this one. Maybe grab a word with Hickey if we can at some point. But he's coming high fives all the way up. The number 8 machine, the BMW, will be rolling up there in a moment and into the winner's enclosure. But a lot of fans up here. And here he is, folks, the winner. And a big stoppie, no doubt. Oh, yes, Davey Todd. Now, a 3-time TT winner, goes past his teammate Peter Hickman. Oh, this could get noisy. Oh, no, he's saving it. You can tell he's the team boss now because he doesn't want to waste the tyre. But he's in, winning in the end by, what was it, 1.296 seconds. That was all it was, so 1.3 seconds off there now. So Davey Todd, a 3-time TT winner, Senior TT, Superstock winner, and now, of course, a Superbike winner. We'll get his reaction any moment now. This young lady just coming in there to see her first, more important than of me, and that he was made to work absolutely tooth and nail for that one. Gives the BMW a big slap on the tank. He closes his eyes and looks up to the sky, and he's now a TT winner once again. Davey Todd on the number 8 machine, and he'll be just taking his gloves off. The left-hand glove comes off first. The little holder that holds the centre of the glove on and then pulls it off and puts it on the tank of the BMW. And the second glove coming off there now, and he has a little look over, gives a big finger one up to the other guys to say, that's me, I'm number 1 again. And Davey Todd takes the KYT crash helmet off, and we'll grab a quick chat with him in to let the camera boys get in there. Give her a kiss, don't be worried about me. Straight in, well done, Davey Todd. That is the triple crown of big bikes. That is the Superbike TT win. He gives a big hug to the guys. He gets the Monster Energy hat on, and we'll just get him on. He's got his earplugs in, so we'll just grab him here now. We'll get him live on Radio TT around the circuit. Your teammate Peter Hickman's there as well. We'll get him in. Davey, that is the triple crown, the Superstock, the Senior, and now the Superbike. 3 big bike wins. Mega.
Oh, mate, I'm over the moon. Over the moon. The boys have done a fantastic job, and man, it feels sweet. It's our own team. It's our team. It's not mine and Pete's. It's all of ours. And just got to say a massive thank you to all the guys and girls, everybody who's been a part of creating this team in the last 3 months, and BMW, Monster Energy, all the sponsors that have made it happen. And yeah, I'm just a bit speechless right now. It's been a crazy week weather-wise, and I was more nervous than I've ever been this morning with the conditions, and then I got told it's dry, and then I got told there's oil everywhere. So, yeah, I was a bit nervous on the start line for that one, but knew we had good pace and just didn't want to show too much in practice. And yeah, that's all I can say. Thanks to the boys.
He was coming behind you. He was coming.
Yeah, I think we lost a bunch of time in the pit stop, which I was just trying to control it, and then I had to go at the end. So yeah, I had to put my head down on that last lap and try and put a decent lap in. I'm not sure what it was like, but
135 in there. I've got it here actually. I'll tell you. 135.327 last lap.
Yeah, that's not too bad, is it?
It's not bad. Well done, Davey. Another TT win in the pocket.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Well done to you. Michael Dunlop just going to go off and get a little interview with TV in a second. So, Boyd, you just let you tidy up a little bit as we let Dino's just about to do some TV stuff. And then Michael Dunlop's just waiting to do his TV stuff as well. So just hand back to you just to tidy up and get ready for coming back down here.
No problem. Nathan Harrison, it's not into the podium. He's not going into the winner's enclosure, but he's just missed it. 4th place is an incredible result for Nathan, Mike.
Yeah, you're not wrong. There'll be plenty of Manx men and women around the course cheering him on, and so pleased to see him up there in 4th place.
Absolutely superb. So let's get back down to Chris.
Dean Harrison with us. Dean, I think a bit disappointed, to be fair, or have you learnt much from this race on the big bike?
Yeah, no, look, I hit a wall through practice at all the times I were doing, and then I was struggling with stability and wheelie, so that's something we sort of need to try and cure, try and make the bike go forwards instead of upwards.
A lot of Honda riders have said that to me this week, no matter who they're riding for, on privateers or whatever.
Yeah, no, I think it's a bit of a common problem, I think, so it's something we sort of need to sit down and have a look into and try and improve for next time.
Good pit stop by the team, good?
Yeah, no, honestly, pit stop went really well. My plan was to change a helmet, so I've still got a tear off left. I used one tear off the whole race. A bit breezy out there, Swantons, but there weren't that many flies.
Good big crowd out there, I bet, too.
Yeah, no, the massive crowd the whole way around the track as well, so that's good to see everyone enjoy himself. And I just want to say thanks to the marshals as well for helping us out the whole list.
Absolutely, and that's another Superbike TT podium for you. I think it's 2018 was the last time we weren't on one.
Is that what you know more?
Long time ago.
There you go, you know more than me. Yeah, no, the podiums are nice. I feel like I'm riding good, to be honest, and it's hard, isn't it? So we'll be all right.
Just waiting for that extra step.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, so we'll have another go later.
All right, Dino, thanks for your time. Cheers.
Thank
Thank
you
you very much. Dean Harrison gives Davey a tap on the back there as well, and just roll that bike. Sorry, is that right, dear? Thank you very much. And just to let you know, Nathan Harrison got 4th, so that's good there. So Nathan got 4th. Just waiting for Michael just to finish there with the TV boys, and then we'll jump in, and then we'll get to Beth as well with some interviews. Beth, just pop to you quickly, yep.
Well, I'm just here, just standing next to Nathan Harrison. What an absolute belter of a performance. He's just having a little conversation here, so I'm just wondering whether I can just sneak in. Nathan, what a race. You went off the line like a scolded cat.
Yeah, my dad doesn't normally say it, but he said go like fuck, so I thought, well...
Oh, excuse our language.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
My dad normally like take it easy, so I thought, well, if the boss is saying it, I better had. So, I just thought... the delay actually helped me a little bit. This morning I woke up and I wasn't in a good way. My stomach was like a washing machine, and I think it's because I've been doing quite well in practice week. I thought the kind of pressure was on me, but my dad and all the team had a word with me, and like there's no pressure from us, just go and have fun. As soon as I set up, that delay kind of calmed everything down, and then I went off the start, and then I just controlled the race from there. I kept on getting P4. I knew I wasn't going to get a podium because obviously I'm battling with the best road racers in the world, and 4th place in my 3rd TT, obviously after missing one as well. I can't complain, so yeah, no, I made up.
Did you get some pit boards out there? I know you were looking for some.
Yeah, no, I did, so thank you to everybody that put one out. I was just, like you say, I had one at Ballacrane, one at the exit into Kurt Michael, and I had one at the gooseneck, so yeah. No, I was just using them boards and controlling the 4th place, so did what I needed to do, but yeah, no, I made up.
And not just 130, 131.113.
Yeah, I can't complain at that. That's good. That's again, it's another step. I've done 129, done 130, done 131, so I'm constantly climbing up the leaderboard, but not massive steps. So yeah, no, I'm made up with that. I'd just like to say a big thank you to all the support out there as well, and obviously all my sponsors and all my team.
We're delighted for you, Nathan. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's grab a word then with Michael. He's finished with the TV as well. Michael, just looking at the rear tyre there. Goodness me, you give that some welly, boy.
Aye, it just fell apart like a cheap watch, so sadly that's just what happened, and that's what sort of screwed us over, really.
Great pit stop by your team as well. Got you out pretty quick. Got nearly 6 seconds on him in the pits.
Yeah, the pit stop's done real well. Back wheel change, fuel in, out the gate. Everyone felt good, and then just obviously with no practice out this week and the horrific lap times we were doing, making the next step up. Obviously, pit is onto a new position. We needed some change suspension stuff, really, because we were going from last night we done I think a 32, but now doing a 35. We knew straight away that we're just going to struggle a wee here with setup. Steve made a good change, and it was just, for some reason, Kirk Michael, I got caught a wee bit with Dean. It was just too much. It just wasn't enough. Dean was having a bit of a tank slapper here and there, and I made a wee push over Rencoln, which probably wasn't the place to do it, but I had to get in. It just didn't suit, but I knew the tyre was shagged. I knew, and obviously you can see the state of it now. We just lost traction control, and we just done that to just start spinning our brains out.
Because I think you got it down to under a second, and then getting stuck with Dean, you lost 2.
Aye. As a man says, your granny, a ball should have been your granddad, you know what I mean? But it's just pity, I felt good. The bike we made a massive step, but obviously just that wee bit in Kirk Michael, and then I knew the tyre was shagged. I knew it was gone, and it's actually I got a slap and it broke the back hugger when it was actually starting to deteriorate. So I just knew I was on a humongous amount of spin, and when I got that, then I knew it was going to be a hard push, because I knew Davey obviously would be, having a push as well. So I knew you had to have all your ducks lined up to make sure it worked, and it didn't. You know what I mean? But look, that's the name of the game.
I can see the hugger all smashed to bits in the back, innit?
Aye, the rubber's obviously just disintegrated out of the tyre, and it's broken into a million pieces. So obviously when it does that, when you have something like whatever 200 and whatever horsepower, you need as much grip down as possible, and that's obviously something we hadn't got.
All right, Michael, thanks for your time. Cheers, buddy. Thank you. So there we go, folks, the top 3 in the RST Superbike race. I'm going to speak to David Johnson very quickly. Just want to say hello to young Peter Hickman. Hi, Pete. You all right, son?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm all right. Is this your Stephen Hawking impression, is it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's good to see you, though. It really is.
No, it's good to be outside. I've not been out for a little while now, and managed to watch the first 3 and a bit laps on the TV, and I thought I needed to come down and congratulate all the boys.
Well done to you and your team, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's absolutely fantastic for 810 Racing, BMW Motorrad, Monster. Everyone's put so much effort into it, and to reward them with the first winner TT 2025, can't ask for too much more.
Good man. Go and enjoy it with Davey. And cheers, Pete.
Cheers, mate. Thanks
very much. Let's hear from Dave O'Johnson with Beth.
Yeah, if you can hear a lot of noise in the background, obviously sidecars are gearing up for their race, but Davo, brilliant today. 5th place, 131.097. Talk us through your race.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it was decent. It took a while. I mean, I was into it because obviously with Dino behind me to start with, it was sort of a matter of when he was going to pass me. Not a matter of if, really, to be honest. I knew that. And I knew it was going to be somewhere around like Crunkavody Straight. But I can't remember where it was, actually. It was, probably around there somewhere where he passed me, but later than expected anyway. So I was pretty happy with my first sector, but I'm Australian, so I don't get out of the bed, too fired up. But first lap just put a lot of effort in and caught John. And I really struggled to pass John at the start, but it was actually good fun. I told John at the end, I was like, it was just unreal just following John McGuinness around, and I nearly didn't want to pass him just because I was enjoying it so much. But then when the opportunity came, I just took it. I followed him all the way over the mountain, and eventually got past him, and then he pretty much stayed on me. But
relief there as that noise stops.
Well, that was 100% necessary. That's a wrap. So then I got stuck in. The third lap, straight off the pit, out of the pits, was not the best. And then the last lap, I felt really good, really still strong with my arms and focus. So I just put in a half decent lap. It was 1:31, but I probably should have been doing that from the word go. But next race.
Tell you what, you don't even look like you've done anything, which is brilliant because you have to have that level of physical fitness. But the pit stop generally, team did okay?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I think it was felt like one of the quickest pit stops. Yeah, so it was 56, so anywhere around there is perfect. But yeah, I'm happy with my fitness. Yeah, I'm fitter than I look. John McGuinness called me a fathead last night, so that gave me a bit of motivation. So I caught him a bit quicker than I normally would, so unlucky to him. But no, it was awesome. Yeah, like I say, it was awesome just following John over the mountain there, like the legend himself, and he's a hero of mine. So yeah, and but I know it was time I had to get past him, and then he stayed with me. So we carried on, and happy enough. Fifth is unbelievable for Kawasaki. I mean, we're the only one in Yahoo of anybody. So we'll have to keep our sort of back to the drawing board and see if we can get a bit quicker, because I know we can do 1:32. Just got to work it out.
Absolutely brilliant. We're delighted for you. I just want to speak to your dad, Murray, here. The boy did good.
He did very well. Yeah, we're very pleased and proud, and the team as well. I mean, they've been on the back foot really, and with limited preparation, and they did what they hoped they would do, not what they knew they could do. And I think it's just they'll move forward from here. It's fantastic.
And what's it like for you during that race? Just keeping an eye on how things are going.
Yeah, it's always a bit. I get a bit dry in the mouth, so I've drunk about 2 bottles of water, and but it's nice to get the first race over and done with, because the nerves always set in. You start off with butterflies, and once the race has started, it's the same as if you're riding yourself. You put your helmet on, and it's all good. So it's just interesting watching it all unfold, and yeah, fantastic to see a great result.
We're so pleased for all of you. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Beth. So back up here in the tower then, whilst we wait for the guys to finish off their media duties down in the winners' enclosure and come up for the podium, we'll start to make our way through some of the numbers. We'll give you first of all the lap 4 times, which were the fastest laps of the race. The fastest lap on the final lap was Michael Dunlop, despite that tyre going away from him. 16 minutes 43.045, 135.416. The Superbike lap record is 135.97, so he's about 5 seconds or so outside of that lap record pace, but that was the fastest lap of the race. Davey Todd on lap 4 did 135.327. That was only 7/10 of a second slower than Dunlop, and enough for him to win the race and complete the big bike set for Davey Todd. Dean Harrison then did 132.955, so very much just bringing the practice pace where he was over 133 into the race. His fastest lap of the race was his opening lap, 133.051. Nathan Harrison, 4th place finish for Nathan. All of the locals here, absolutely a cock-a-hoop. My phone's lit up with messages saying Nathan Harrison, woohoo, absolutely mega result for Nathan. His fastest lap of the race was his opener, 131.27. On the last lap, he did 131.113. Davo Johnson then 131.0 on lap 4. That was his fastest lap of the race. Josh Brooks did 130.28. His fastest, well, it was literally a smidge of a second, not even a 10th of a second outside of his fastest lap of the race that he did on lap 1. John McGuinness got up to 131.1 on the final lap, and James Hillier 131.2. Beth has Daryl Tweed.
I'm just here with Daryl Tweed. You're busy going through the phone. What do you make of that race?
Oh, it was dead on, hey, so it was a wee bit blowy up top there, so it was, but it was good now, so it was. I'm struggling a wee bit with a shoulder injury there, and sort of had to dig deep after the pit stop and just keep her moving, so I'm happy enough now, so I'm happy to see the pits again.
Do you know, that must be so tough when you've got that physical pain just to keep going mentally.
Aye, well, it's one of them things. You only get to come here once a year, so you have to just keep battering on. And I felt like I was going a bit slower, so, but well, we made it back. That was the main thing.
And team all happy with the pit stop?
Oh, the team was happy with the pit stop. Great pit stop it was. We all worked very well together there, so I can't complain. No complaints this year.
Oh, great to see you looking happy. Well done, Darren.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Beth. Okay, let's start, if we can get the machine to play ball, to have a look down the complete result of the RST by D30 Superbike TT. The winner then, Davey Todd on the Monster Energy 810 BMW. His winning time, 1 hour 8 minutes 20.628, and that was 1.296 seconds quicker than Michael Dunlop on the Rocket BMW by Motorrad Machine. 1.296 seconds. Todd wins over Dunlop. Then Dean Harrison on the Honda was 43.5 seconds down on Dunlop in 3rd. Nathan Harrison then was 57.3 seconds down on Dean Harrison in 4th on the H&H Honda. Then Davo Johnson on the Platinum Club Kawasaki finishes in 5th, and that's a good result on the Kawasaki, I think, Mike.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's Davo's been coming over here a few years now, and he just keeps getting better, doesn't he? So it's fantastic to see Davo in the top 6.
Absolutely. He was 16.6 seconds down on Nathan Harrison. James Hillier on the Mukoff Honda is only 2.4 seconds down on Davo at the end. He did bring that right back, and John McGuinness clawed himself right the way up to 7th at the end. So that's a good result by John, given where he's been in qualifying practice week here at the TT. 10 seconds down on Hillier in 7th.
Yeah, definitely. Again, having a few issues with stability, I think, on the in practice week. So it's nice to see him, finding something for the race. And 131 miles an hour, it's not hanging about, is he?
Absolutely. 8th place finish for Joshua Brooks on the Jackson Racing Honda. He's only 5.7 seconds down on John McGuinness. Then Mikey Evans, another of the locals, into 9th. 24.9 down on Brooks. Rounding out the top 10, and we'll pick up the rest in a moment. Paul Jordan, 10 seconds down on Mikey Evans. Down to Chris Kinley.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the podium presentation for the RST by D30 Superbike TT. And ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Representing RST, the head of marketing, Charlotte Bannister. Thank you, Charlotte. Heads up onto the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, in 3rd position, riding the Honda, Dean Harrison. So Dean on the factory Honda gets another Superbike TT podium to his credit. He's been 3rd and 2nd so many times on this one. And he gets up there, gets the laurel wreath over his neck. In second position on the Rocket BMW, Michael Dunlop. So Michael makes his way up those steps once again into the second place position. Gives Dino a shake of the hand. The scouts and everybody up there. Charlotte puts the laurel wreath over his neck. And ladies and gentlemen, winning the Superbike TT Trophy and 1.29 seconds in the end on the 810 BMW, Davey Todd. Davey makes his way up the back of the steps. Now, this trophy first presented in 1977, the old Formula One trophy presented to Phil Reed. The Superbike TT winner is Davey Todd. Davey gets a laurel wreath over his neck. And ladies and gentlemen, now three-timer winner. Raise that trophy, Davey Todd. It's yours. Go. Davey gets his hand for the first time on that trophy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding if you're able for the anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once more here at the TT Grandstand for Dean Harrison, Michael Dunlop, and of course, Davey Todd, the winner of the RST by D30 Superbike TT. Are we going to see some champagne? I'm pretty sure we are. Thank you to Charlotte from RST. Here we go, folks. Give them some encouragement up there. Come on, boys. You've been a tough all week. Here we go. Come on, Dino. Come on, Davey. Come on, Michael. And away we go. I think Lloyd, who cleans the trophy, is going to have his work cut out on that one. The base has absolutely just been covered. So once again, folks, Dean Harrison, Michael Dunlop, and your race winner, Davey Todd.
Keep up to date with Manx Radio's dedicated motorsport website, motorsport.manxradio.com, your one-stop shop for news, travel, road closures and racing schedules. You can also step into Manx Radio 1368's 60-year motorsport archive, including interviews with your favourite riders, race highlights from yesteryear, and our collection of motorsport videos and podcasts. Motorsport.manxradio.com, the home for motorsport on the Isle of Man, from the best biking station in the world, Manx Radio 1368.